Oh man, how many weeks has it been already? And how many times have I had to do this in the last few? Welcome to the Corporate Esports Association, week 6, I believe, as we kick off the second round of this ever exciting tournament. And my boy Rally's back, so that's even better. Hey there, how are you doing?
Hi, Howie. It's a pleasure to be back. It has been a very long time, as one of our games was unfortunately cancelled, though we did do a recording restream, so that will be shown, I believe, later.
It's an exciting one. It's an exciting one. 2 games for the price of 1, as they say. Well, 4 teams have now qualified out of the Swiss League into our final playoffs at the end of the season. I believe Amazon Web Services, Google Geniuses, Google Cloud Players, and the Microsoft Silver Edge Lords. But there's more out there. 12 more are going to try competing to claim the last slots in the knockout tournament for another round robin competition. And we have 2 that we've not seen yet before on stream, with the Red Hat Linyx Assassins and the Microsoft. Is it Microsoft? Oh, it's Google Back2Bascis.
Google.
I've forgotten. I'm so bad at this. Someone call the police. Google Back2Bascis. 2 teams on even records up to now. Now really competing for what really matters. The top scoring teams at the end of the next few weeks go through to our final playoffs. The bottom few are wiped all out of existence. It's hot, exciting stuff, but the competition has really been heating up as these teams have been getting closer and closer on competition. Early weeks, they were a little bit stompy sometimes, but we've had some crazy matches in the last few weeks. I'm very, very excited to see even more of this.
Yeah, me too. What I really like about their team, so Red Hat, they create Linux basically. I think they've tried to take the word Linux and put Nix Assassin in it, so it's like Linyx Assassins. So sort of a clever play on words with Linux. So I quite like that anyway. It amused me. Hope they can perform at least as well as their namers. So their naming is good, but is their Dota at the same standard?
The 2 computer scientists in the same room just kind of staring at each other right now. Us 2. Looks like we are. Both teams are in the lobby. We're going to go any second now. We're ripping and roaring. Maximum speed up ahead. Unfortunately, you'll see when we're in the game. You'll see when we're in the game. There's some stuff going on there, but
there is a little bit, yeah.
There's some madness, but you can never trust. You can never necessarily trust some of these people. They've had a very tough week at work. They come in on Saturday. Last thing they want to do is play the most stressful esports game ever made for the chance of winning charity money. They say it's fun, but deep down, how do they feel?
Okay, we're just changing some of the settings in the lobby. We'll be good to go shortly, maybe in a couple of minutes.
Beautiful. Both these teams were 2 and 3 in their runs. We've not actually seen them or really the opponents they've had played against in the tournament up to now, except for one team getting beaten very, very, very hard by Amazon Web Services. But that seems to be what Amazon Web Services have done this whole tournament. They've put out their big guns, and they really, really have dominated every team in their way. The other 2, we've not really seen them, but they should be apparently just about even on performance. They've managed every game so far up to now. The scores, I believe, are reset in this phase. So teams go in from scratch trying to claim round 2 to 3 wins to be safe, but it is going to depend on the other teams around them as we go.
Right, just checking a few more settings at the moment. I just had a look at the last week's matches. None of the hero picks were, too out of the ordinary. They were fairly standard. Is there anything that you're really hoping that we're going to see? Some sort of really left-wing pick or something completely unexpected?
The meta's a little bit settled right now, unfortunately. Although it's not a bad meta, it is a little bit of a settled meta. You're going to pick these really, really big scaling carries. You're going to 4 protect 1 them. You're going to go for those big fights later down the line. That said, in the little bonus match that we will be streaming at the very end of this, we had at least 1 wacky pick. So there's still some fun stuff. I think when these players, they're not the best players in the world, but that's part of the fun. I like someone's casting tier 1 Dota is a little bit like, yeah, it's just Team Secret going to win again.
Yeah, true. Just a little bit at the moment.
These players are like, hey, we're here to have fun. We're here to just play this game, and we're here to pick whatever we feel like. And if that means we're going techies, which Snare and I have had many arguments about in the past, then maybe so be it.
Yeah, I guess there's also, I don't know if in a tournament like this, Do you, if you have like a secret weapon, one of the players on your team is really good at a particular hero, and therefore you don't want it banned out, are you going to save it for the later rounds? If you think, oh, we can get away with not using this, and suddenly you've got some, expert lone druid player or meepo or something like that, are you going to be saving it for the later rounds? Maybe they will if they think they can, not use it for that long and still stay in the tournament. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Actually, there's an interesting dynamic. I've played in tournaments like this before where there aren't that many stats really about. You get like a game
Ah,
on stream, but you don't like. I'm sure you can go in and look at these players' profiles. There's nothing stopping you, but like it's nothing compared to the wealth of data on huge events where everybody knows who's picked what heroes, everybody knows what strategies have been played, and one thing gets busted wide open. You can actually fly under the radar a little bit. At the end of the day, these people got busy 9 to 5 jobs every day, working hard, likely from home in order to but like what's the last thing they're gonna do? Oh, let's strategize. Let's spend 2 hours breaking into the draft. Sometimes you just go out. You just go out and throw yourself out into the open.
yeah, and what I've actually found from playing in sort of mini tournaments myself is that I've spent a long time, with your team, like you said, strategizing, spending time thinking, right, these are the picks we need to use. This is the meta, and this is the correct way to play. And then we just end up losing over and over, and we think, oh, should we just pick our comfort picks? Then we just go with 5 comfort picks, and we win easily. And we think, okay, maybe we should just play what we enjoy, what we're comfortable with. Works more often than not. So maybe that's what the teams will resort back to after realizing that they don't really need to follow the meta, don't need to match what Team Secret are doing. So yeah, we're making a
Looks like we
newbie
are
lobby.
having a few
Okay.
lobby problems, so we are just gonna go on this little revolving door. But these things don't take terribly long after you've done it enough times. It's been 6 weeks now. First week, a lot of teams in little amateur tournaments, they don't know what they're doing in the lobbies. By week 6, they get it faster, man. I've already seen the difference. We've gone from slowest lobbies under the sun to this stuff goes in and out. Everybody's in a few minutes. I'm impressed. It's like I'm watching the character development of everybody in front of me.
Yeah, the lobby is up now, and we're just putting the players in, so we should
Hooray!
be good to go in a couple of minutes.
Oh, the joy of trying to get 10 people together. I know on the worst of days, trying to get 5 people together is a challenge. Somebody's just trying to get us two out of bed in the first place is a challenge. Yeah,
Yeah.
So they need my address, and I have to knock on the door, be like, "Wake up! You've got a Dota 2 cast going on this week." And now then trying to get your team of 5 people together. Oh, they could be doing anything. Then trying to
Yeah,
get another team of 5 people together. Oh, know how you do it.
I know it's middle of the day for them, so yeah,
It's
hopefully
midday.
they're around.
It's midday
But
on a Saturday.
it
You could
depends.
have
You're one of
slept
those
in.
people. Is midday? Is that a difficult stretch for you on a weekend?
My current sleep cycles are telling me that yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really happening like that. Getting out of bed at 5, like, yep, this is fine.
But this is for
Great.
Dota, so for Dota you've got to make an exception.
For Dota, you can just get up and just jam down the caffeine and just go straight at it.
Straight out of
Who,
bed,
who
straight
needs
onto
to
the
warm up?
PC.
If you're playing Counter Strike, you need to warm up your aim and stuff. You need to be like, oh, I need to make sure I play 3 rounds of deathmatch. Playing Dota, it's just like, just give me Storm Spirit, man. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to warm up on Dota because you could say play a game, but then that could take an hour. That's not like
Oh,
10 minutes of aim training, is it? So
last hits,
you could go into the practice mode or just
classic.
do a little bit of last hitting. You could 1v1 someone if you've got a friend who's up for that, just do a quick mid 1v1. But even that can take quite a long time these days. So, I don't know what the teams do to warm up. Or, like you said, just immediately wake up onto the PC and then start playing Dota.
Tell you what, if you like player names, we've got some great ones down here. We have Sherlock Cito and Jekyll Maxon.
Jekyll Maxon. I like that one. It's so simple and stupid, but it entertains me.
I'm looking around at some of these. Now we have the guilds across the board, and as I've said previously, very excited to see the colored gems crash that market. Crash that market. That's the most exciting thing Valve have done in the last year for Dota, to be honest.
Yeah, the gems have been hoarded for so long, and some of them were up $100 plus, and now they've gone right down to what are they, a few dollars each now? Because the
Oh
courier, which had
yes.
new gems in them, people can just take them out. Finally, there's another
Oh
supply.
yeah, I see. I was calling them just links, but it is Linyx.
Yeah,
Oh
it's like Linux, but Linux, basically.
yeah,
So they're being clever.
that's crazy.
I like it. I like it.
As soon as the coin toss is done, we'll get the game underway.
Yeah, we're
Speedy.
pretty close to
I can
starting
peek.
now.
I can peek around at battle pass levels. Valve still haven't hidden them. Ooh,
Yeah, they have left them up. I guess people
there's
want to
only
flex for a little bit
there's
longer.
only one 1K.
You disappointed?
Google Back to Basics. Well, they're certainly basic on their battle pass levels.
I think most people have a battle pass at least, but yeah, not many high
One of them
levels.
never bought it. One of them just never bought in. Wasn't their business.
Fair enough.
To think you're above the whole Valve money making scheme, bold.
Yeah, maybe cosmetics just aren't their thing. Though I usually like it for the voice lines and the other things like that.
I'm a bit of a if I see that it lasts a limited time, and I'm gonna
Oh.
cry if it has any chance of disappearing.
Yeah, you're one of those.
It's gonna break down into tears. You could get me to pay $2,000 for a stupid little hat because it's gonna go away in 2 weeks. Can't
You're
take
easily
it.
exploited, aren't you?
Oh yes, free to play games have me hard. Brutal Back to Basics on the Radiant side. Linyx Assassins on the Dire, who will be taking out the first pick.
Okay, so what I noticed from last week is that a lot of core heroes were banned. Not just in phase 1, but phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. The entire set of bans were just core heroes. Faceless Void, Ursa, etc., Juggernaut, Spectre. But now we've got support bans. We started with the Rubik ban. I'm expecting the other team to do a sort of similar approach. Ban the supports in phase 1. That's sort of my preferred way.
These cores, they seem to be defining the game very, very much, to be honest, at the moment. So I don't blame them. Especially, it's very strange, depending on the sort of level of play you're at. So I've heard one of these teams around legend level in Dota. Cores really do make the difference in those times, if you know what I mean. One snowballing player just destroys things across the map.
I would expect Sven to be banned at some point because he's so meta at the moment, and it's very hard to deal with. With the Storm Hammer with 1100 range, the Agnums that flies him in, does an auto attack, 7-second cooldown. It dispels when you get there. He's already got 320 move speed. He's just an insane core. He farms really fast. He's almost got no weaknesses. So I'd be surprised if Sven makes it through the entire drafting phase without being picked or banned. But we'll see.
You'd be surprised.
I would be surprised. That's my thing.
The Rubik and the Phoenix out early on. How often is Phoenix really seen? I do love my little Firebird, but I've not really seen him as much of a priority at the same time.
I guess for phase 1, there aren't a lot of heroes you need to immediately ban. So I think Phoenix can be a good ban. He's one of those heroes which is always effective. Okay, and they've gone for Witch Doctor first pick.
Google doing the honors.
It's a very standard support hero. Right? He's strong in pretty much every lane combination. He's got a lot of damage. You can't really go wrong with a Witch Doctor.
Google doing the honors here, making sure that we do indeed lose Wind Ranger. Nobody wants to see it. I agree.
You on slacks with that one?
I went through this in week 1, but it's the opposite in that she just murders me every game I play against her, and I'm sick of it. I'm just sick of having to run away from Focus Fire. I just don't want to do it anymore.
Fair enough.
So it's I'm his ally, but we're also different people at heart. Deep down.
Yeah, I like Wind Ranger as well, but we'll see. What do they pick in return? They're going to go for Earth Spirit. Now, that's an interesting pick because traditionally it's POS 4, but it could easily also be a mid-hero as well.
I mean, we have seen, in the last week, we saw the mid-Snapfire come out. Didn't really succeed, but we do have teams indeed picking up some of these exotic strats.
It's very meta at the moment. There's a weird Snapfire mid-core build, which has sort of become popular, and it is surprisingly effective. I've completely lost the game to it, and I wasn't expecting it to do very much, and yeah, it just destroyed me. That
it's a very
little shredder with the Monkey King bar, what do you do against that? So much damage. You don't expect it as well. I think that's the thing. You don't expect a Snapfire to instantly kill you, so...
The more popular build is really early game heavy, where you could just get an axe and just start throwing people in, just forcing fights as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you're right.
Snapfire is one of those odd heroes will work out at one point, I think. Looks like we are seeing some... I mean, Earth Spirit's a nice flex pick in that regard, though, because you get the possible support, but maybe you are flexing your muscles a little bit. Not so back to basics, perhaps.
Ooh.
And seeing the POS 3 core for sure in the Mars. It's setting up a lot of disruption already for them. They have a lot of, they have the kicks and they have the arenas. Maybe that's the combo. Kick them into the arena wall. Next level.
Oh yeah, kick them into the wall. We've already seen 3 strength heroes in the first 4 picks, so it's a very strength-heavy game already. I mean, Undying likes to be able to steal strength, and Earth Spirit Mars, that's a potential lane. Pos 4 Earth Spirit, Pos 3 Mars, and Undying's going to get all the strength he wants because they're both melee, and it takes away a lot of their damage as well. So we'll see how that pans out. I think Undying, if he gets the Tombstone outside the arena, it's going to be spawning a lot of skeletons. So I think so far, not a lot has been revealed. I can't say either team's got a drafting edge. We're going to have to see what cores they end up picking for their sort of Pos 1, Pos 2.
I love my boy Witch Doctor at the moment. In a lot of these games we're seeing, he can be used as a huge secondary source of damage, especially now that you can't dispel the Maledicts, you can't block the Maledicts, unless, if you pop BKB too late, then sorry, son, you're taking all that damage. It's a very, very mixed damage hero because he has the physical damage ult and then the huge magic damage burst on the ultimate. It means it's quite hard to actually necessarily build around a Witch Doctor that can just pump out damage, just take you down in just a heartbeat sometimes with good control on his side. That said, Undying is not the definition of a control hero, so we'll need to see a little bit more of that, and we're not quite sure what the lane's going to look like yet.
That is true. I think the one thing we can say about Google's team is they definitely have a lot of lockdown. Just in those 2 heroes, there's a lot of stuns, silences, slows. Whereas Undying and Witch Doctor, we're just relying on that cask and the slows from the zombies. So the Linyx assassins are going to have to think about some sort of control hero, like you said, and it could come from the mid hero, or it could come from one of the other supports. Maybe if assuming Undying is Pos 3, it could be an Undying Pos 4. Then they still have room to pick a strong Pos 3 hero. So I'm looking for some sort of control coming out of Linyx assassins.
Seeing the core band starting to come in now with the Anti-Mage, the Morana, and the Faceless Void, and the Juggernaut. So yes, a lot of physical damage bands coming out. It looks like that's what the teams are hoping to pick in the next phase for themselves, at least.
I think this is very standard, and like I said before, when it comes to phase 2, you just ban out all the cores. I would be really surprised, I'll say it again, if Sven makes it through this. But, they haven't banned Sven so far. So Morana, Anti-Mage Drow, Faceless Void, Juggernaut. They're either going to ban Spectre or Sven would be my guess, if I had to guess.
I think you're jinxing it, and Sven's coming right for us.
I would like to see a Sven. I enjoy watching him. I don't enjoy playing against him. But maybe they'll just ignore it altogether. I mean, he's not in every single game. So we'll see. Necrophos ban, okay. So Spectre and Sven are in the pool.
Knock, knock. If they go for a 3rd strength hero, then it's a super, but it's also quite exploitable as much as it is super tanky. There are heroes that will deal with your tanky stuff, especially if you put all your eggs in that basket immediately.
Yeah, Timbersaw, very good against strength heroes. Other heroes with percentage-based damage, like Death Prophet. So you don't maybe want to go for a 3rd strength hero now, like you said. Maybe let's hold off on the strength. Pick something else first. Like maybe we'll pick our Pos 5 now.
Then you give them Sven. This is the real battle, back and forth, the battle of minds. This is why they're using all their reserve time straight away.
Well, Google are. I mean, Linyx assassins have been really quick on the picks and bans. They've still got all of their reserve time. And they're going to go for Jakiro. I was thinking Jakiro. Nice int hero. And Spectre. So I was talking Sven and Spectre. They've chosen the Spectre. So Google still have the option for Sven. But I'm not sure how well Sven does into Spectre, actually. I'm not convinced that's an easy matchup for Sven. Maybe early game it is.
And of course, Spectre soon getting the $30 Arcana. Void will get the $100 Arcana. So it's okay. Nobody really loses, but it's a bit too early for that one. Hopefully we'll see Gold Immortals. That's all I can say.
You said soon, but we don't know how long it's actually going to take, do we?
I think the Ogre one came surprisingly quickly. I was surprised. TB!
Ooh, nice.
I really miss when TB was meta, because it was just kind of fun to watch him, because he was a very, very timing-based hero, where you really had to play around that meta timing. And it was just a really fun dynamic, and this hero is useful half of the time, precisely on like a ticking timer. That I thought was really, really quite fun to watch. It works really nicely with the Mars, actually, because you can just have that arena, you have the Ice Path, you have the protection, and you can just throw those meta fireballs away at people. I think he's well protected by his team here.
Yes, I agree. I think Terrorblade's a really good pick against Spectre anyway, because Spectre is so good in the late game, but so is Terrorblade. And Terrorblade farms a lot faster than Spectre, so I think that's a really clever pick. Death Prophet, I think that's an interesting one. Good against the strength heroes, can drain a lot of their health away with the Spirit Siphon. The ult helps you push. You don't have a lot of push naturally. From Spectre, it's not a core who's good at hitting towers, but it's okay because Death Prophet is going to do that for you. So I think that's a really smart pick. I quite like it. I can't see any hard counters on Google's team. So I think, yeah, clever pick from Linyx Assassins. Only using, what, 14 seconds of their reserve time as well.
TB may have a hard lane against the Undying, though, because he's traditionally no strength at all, but super high armor. And Undying is, I don't really care about your armor, and I want all your strength. So we're going to watch that guy with 200 HP walking around the lane, trying not to get picked off in one hit. We've not seen the Free, the hero that's going to go against the TB. Well, presume we've not seen the Free based on what we see right now. So it's going to be very interesting if you pick a hero that can punish him very, very easily.
Well, you want to, because Terrorblade has a great late game, so you really want to push him, early as much as possible.
The Underlord and the Necro are down. These are two heroes that would just annoy him. I feel heavy magic damage. TB really wants to play against physical damage and nothing else in that lane. So it's might be a scary lane for him. As much as he has the late game protection, he really needs to get off the ground early. That's going to be a bit of a struggle. But we'll see what that last pick turns out to be. What do you think the Google team wants as that last pick themselves?
It's hard to say. I think they're probably looking at a mid hero, and that's what Linyx Assassins think that they need to pick, because they're banning out cores like Clinks. So you need something that can create space, because Terrorblade will carry you in the late game. I'm not sure they would have gone for Clinks or Sniper, because Terrorblade is such a strong core. I think you need something that can get online quite quickly. Now, I would have said Quap, but it was banned. I'm not sure if there's a really solid one I like. I think actually any comfort pick that you can play and does well in the early game. Void Spirit would be my go-to. But, I mean, you could probably get away with Storm Spirit this game, but it'd be quite greedy. So I think just pick whatever you're comfortable with, to be honest. That's what I do on the radio.
As the resident Storm noob in the house, it's true that I'm not getting destroyed by any of the heroes on the other team, but it's not like I'm going to kill a Spectre anytime soon. That's my fear.
Maybe, that's true. Yeah, I have no idea what Back2Bascis want. Just something that can do well early game. So don't pick a core mid, don't pick Medusa mid or Alchemist mid.
Tide is in. That's not the sort of hero I was thinking when I was talking about punishing the Terrorblade, because he's going to do all his damage physically.
That's
and Viper actually seems obvious when you think about it against the Spectre now. In retrospect, we might have missed that one. Did a bit of a move there.
Yeah, we did completely.
You have so a really good Spectre can play around this. In your pub plays, it might seem like the ultimate counter move, but a smart enough Spectre can move around those Nether Toxins, play around it. It will not make the Spectre's life very fun, though, no matter what. But I've noticed a Viper on a game that's behind really struggles. So if this team could get ahead and already just start dealing damage, then the Viper might just struggle in the first place.
Well, Viper, like you said, is one of those lane-winning heroes. Has to have an advantage, but his kit is so good at doing that. So hopefully the Viper will do well, and then he needs to ruin Spectre's day. Yes, you can play around the Nether Toxin, but you're being slowed, you're taking large amounts of magic damage, you're losing magic resist. So Viper just needs to find where Spectre is and just basically stop her farming. If they can do that, Back2Bascis have a fantastic chance of winning, because Terrorblade will get online way quicker than Spectre. But you never know how lanes will go. Anything can happen in the early game. So we'll see.
Jakiro getting that front line ticket this time, as we get going on the first game of the round robin phase of the CEA. It's week 6, and now it's time to really fight for those top 12 places. It might be a top 8. I might be saying that one wrong the whole time. I might get a nasty correction about that one. The knockout phase. It's a top 12. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 of the spaces are already locked in. So these teams are fighting to get one of the remaining 8 out of 10 spaces.
And
2 people will be going home.
Checking out the lane. We're going to be playing Mars Earth Spirit, Terrorblade Hero. We're going to be playing Spectre Witch Doctor and the Undying Tide. Been told to look out for some of these couriers. I kind of like what I see on the Radiant side, but they're cute, but there's nothing expensive. Oh,
you're looking at the price. I just like the way they look.
They do have some cute couriers now. They have invested. I do like the Golden Bright Sky, actually. Aegis of the Immortal. Got him.
30 seconds to battle.
And look at that boy. It's Techie's Graveling. Gravel.
Where's that?
Techie's Gravel on the diet. It's Ham.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Got some fireworks going down.
Very nice. Any first bloods? That's what we want to look for. I can see a little bit of trading going on in the bot lane. Undying, I think he's going to be fine. Metamorphosis has already been used. And like you said, you know, Terrorblade's only a hero half of the time. It's got a very, very long cooldown, nearly 3 minutes. So he's not going to have it when the lane actually starts.
I talk about the armor on the Terrorblade. It's because he starts with 11 of that stuff. 41% resist. Meaning that the Anchor Smash is less useful than it initially seems, although still, kneecapping that Terrorblade's damage is sure going to annoy him time after time after time after time, so can't discount that quite. Yeah, it's gone for the Gush level 1 though.
Okay, very aggressive. I mean, you talked about Undying being able to steal the strength from Terrorblade. With only 2 stacks of decay, his max HP is 400. So he is a very, very fragile hero. When he loses his strength.
I think that was 1 stack. That's nasty. Oh no.
Yeah.
Just
I think a 3rd or a 4th stack and he'll be on about 200 HP. And then he could pretty much be one shot. I think that's why they've gone for Gush. He just wants to get that burst damage when Terrorblade's not expecting it.
I was about to ask a really stupid question, but I already know the answer to it. For all those interested, no, obviously Reflection Illusions don't have Dispersion. Anyway.
Well, that's a good enough question, I think.
Well, like, they're invulnerable, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Up on the top lane, Earth Spirit and Mars. Looks like they could play quite aggressively here into the Spectre. Unless you really, really invest in dispersion levels, you can go for a roll and just, you know, immediately start pinning people with the spear. It's actually quite high damage. You don't really realize it until it hits you in the face.
Yeah, I agree. It is a lot of damage. And I think they have to be aggressive on the Spectre because, you know, Spectre's got great creep equilibrium at the moment and just wants to farm. Witch Doctor does provide a lot of damage, some nice paralyzing casts. He's doing quite a lot of damage to the Earth Spirit. He's trying to disrupt the pull, but he has lost most of his HP. So it's doing a great job. He will get out. And oh, we missed the kill mid. Don't know if that was caught on the camera, but it looks like Viper's already found a kill. Awesome. It was seen on camera. So Viper getting that first blood, it's exactly what he needs. We did talk about that. And now Death Prophet already on the back foot.
Interestingly, only with the poison attack and the corrosive skin. Not much else was used to make that one happen. So no Never Toxin coming out yet. Probably a case of DP playing over aggressive as well, because it looked like it happened quite close to the Radiant Hill. It's not like it's not like it's an unwinnable matchup for a DP. You know, it's a bit annoying, but like you can probably deal with the worst of it. Probably a case of someone getting a little bit overzealous. Or that Viper is playing super aggressive. Actually, he's just running at DP.
I think you have to. I mean, he got the first kill, and now he's going to try and make as much aggression happen as possible. I mean, just Poison Touch. You're right. It's only 1 ability, but 5 stacks of it, it does so much damage. So he's going to try and get that as much as possible onto the DP.
Yes, a triple mango. He's literally just committed to doing nothing but just hitting with the poison, I think. And actually, that is more annoying than I thought, because even though you have Spirit Siphon, you're actually going to get Corrosive Skin for a portion of it, so you're not going to get the full healing that you expect back.
Oh,
that's really annoying.
You're constantly taking Corrosive Skin damage. So 1 mango is 4 poison attacks, or very nearly 4 poison attacks. So I think it's great that he's got a lot of mangoes early game. Really will allow him to apply that aggression.
Look at those juicy grapes.
I'm looking at that in the top lane. Wow, they've actually used the glyph.
We're gonna glyph just to stop the fun from being had. I'm not sure what other use that quite was, but
no,
maybe
I'm not convinced by that, to be fair. But you know, I guess glyph doesn't get used much in the early game. Might as well just throw it down.
Might be back when they need it. Checking out our core last hits, dead even on the 2 carries, only missing 1.
Yeah, having a look. Mid is in trouble. It actually finds the kill. Viper finds the kill.
Yeah, Viper can just run at him now. 3 levels of poison attack.
Like, it was pretty low, to be fair, but he did secure the kill, so that's 2-0 for the Viper, and he is winning in last hits a lot. You were talking about the core last hits. This is where the biggest difference is. We're at currently 22 on the Viper, 7 on the Death Prophet, and 2 kills behind. I think the Death Prophet may want to just retreat to the jungle, but it's going to be hard laning against the level 6 Viper, unless DP can try and kill the Viper now. No, not going to happen.
At the same time on the bottom lane, TB popped meta for a lovely little dual breath kill, getting lots of slows out there on a very, very vulnerable little Tidehunter. Not as tanky as he necessarily thinks at all stages in the game.
Well,
Especially
not
there's
when
a
you got
lot
the
of
Kraken Shell. So, you know, that's not dispelling the Dual Breath. That's not blocking damage from the Terrorblade. So he's gone for a very aggressive build. And I think he's paid for it.
Jakiro can really just spam that dual breath. He has two more mangoes to do it. Just continually irritate these heroes. Looks like we have seen a swap. The Witch Doctor's now come bot to try and add a disable to that lane, hopefully to slow down the TB so we can't just jump on you. You have to cast. So we see Undying heading top to play with the Spectre instead, who has had an okay lane, although has just started falling behind. When I first talked about the last hits, they were dead even on those cores. Now, Terrorblade has pulled ahead by 8.
It's still early days, but Terrorblade pulling ahead is the best case scenario for their team because Terrorblade really needs a good start. I know he can farm the jungle pretty quickly, but if he has a good start, then it's just a dream for him. He'll have so much farm in the mid game.
I imagine
doing okay.
They may have made the rotation as well to try and get the Undying in with the Spectre. If you're really being annoyed by that Mars, it's constantly shield slamming you early. They do have some nice stacks, but stacks are the one thing that Spectre isn't actually that great.
I think Turbo's going to go down here. In fact, he dies in the bot lane to the Maledict. So, like you said, the rotation from the Witch Doctor, it was really good. Brings in some Disable, brings in Maledict, and with Gush, they actually have enough damage. So, Terrorblade's advantage, a little bit of it has been negated. Nice early kill.
I think the Witch Doctor
top lane. I think it's going to be another core going down. But there's the Soul Rip. Going to keep Spectre alive straight into the salve. So it looks like Dire are not going to lose their core, but Radiant lose theirs. So that's a nice trade for them. But they do lose a courier.
Bye-bye, Tankos. I think this rotation is actually exactly what the Dire needed. They have them increased aggression on bot, which you need to kill the Terrorblade, and you now have protection for the Spectre. You're getting 2 points in the Soul Rip, spamming out the heal, and also knocking Mars down a level here when you can get the decay down. Now, Undying has mostly been stacking and pulling for now, but Earth Spirit is in to just constantly annoy and disrupt at the moment, I think, more than anything else. When he's not going for kills, he can just throw stones at your stacks and your pulls constantly just to ruin your day just that little bit more. On the bottom lane, we have another stun come out.
I think Jakiro's going to be fine. They don't actually have enough damage. They have used Maledict, and that Witch Doctor is very out of mana. So they're going to be absolutely safe there. Terrorblade, he's got Metamorphosis again. He's nearly level 5. He may level up Meta again.
Spirit's in town. I think they would want to kill.
Yes, he is. They're definitely going to go in. Well, I think so, but there is a nice ward there. So Witch Doctor has a ward and a sentry. They see the Earth Spirit, and they're just going to back off completely. Although this does let Terrorblade free farm. So, you know, that's still a good rotation for the Radiant.
He's pulling ahead big time right now. This Spectre has been surprisingly slow. I think just taking a lot of harassment from the Mars. Down almost 20 on the Mars. You can't really fight him back all that much. He'll just God's rebuke you over and over. And he does have his ult ready, so when he has a powerful damaging support in for backup, he could just make a quick kill out of the Spectre. Even though
going in on Jakiro, but there is a nice ice path in the bot lane. I think Jakiro's going to be absolutely fine. Ravage is not ready on the Tide. He's just going to salve up. Yeah, the Spectre's gone for an interesting build. Max Dispersion first. Usually you get it second, but to go for it first is very, very defensive. So he really doesn't want to fight. He just wants to defend. In fact, there was a kill in the bot. Metamorphosis was used.
And the ice
like
path.
Tide's going down. Or maybe not.
There are 3 seconds for an ice path.
He's going to be fine. He walks away. Just want to have a look at mid because we haven't looked at it for a while. Viper still dominating the last hits. I think about 26 ahead. 2 levels ahead as well, but DP's managed to find some farm in some levels. She's recuperating. Now hit level 7, so she has leveled up her spells a little bit more. Can now farm with the Crypt Swarm. Top lane, there's a bit of a fight. We're going on Spectre. Are we going to commit to the arena? We're not. Spectre's way too tanky with 3 points of dispersion.
I think with the spear already used, you don't necessarily want to span the arena at that point because its real benefit is trying to get someone into one of those walls. Yeah, you only really max dispersion like that if you're really being annoyed by a melee hero in lane whacking you constantly, and I think that's what's been going on over and over. It's why Spectre is just still falling behind at the last hit. It's now 20 behind the Terrorblade, and this is for a hero who hasn't died. So yeah. It's like it's not even like you're getting completely ruined out there. It's just in fact Terrorblade has died and is that many last hits ahead.
But Terrorblade is also farming the jungle, so he is really optimizing his lane. Farming the jungle, he's got the Iron Talon, so he's going to have a lot of farm. He's actually giving solo XP to the Jakiro, who's also level 6, out-leveled both the Tide and the Witch Doctor. Looks like top, maybe a little bit of a skirmish. It's not going to be much.
Spirit will be able to get out if he feels like it.
I don't think there's going to be there's no fight in the top lane that's just going to result in a kill for the Dire, right? Spectre is the most defensive build of all time, and Undying doesn't really have the ability to force a fight, so...
Earth Spirit has all the power in the sense that if he, like, against no stuns, he can just leave if he doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
Straight away. The Witch Doctor would have been a threat, but the Witch Doctor's had to come in to, you know, slow down the TV. You're actually dealing with these kind of like... The Witch Doctor kind of wants to be everywhere at this point. You want to use the Witch Doctor to shut down Terrorblade, but you also want to use the Witch Doctor to maybe kill the Spectre, and you can't do both things at once. Kind of rough. Spectre trying to head back to the jungle, but this is really Spectre's big deficit as a hero, is just like jungle farming. It's just slow.
Especially when you have only rank 1 Spectral Dagger. How do you take a stack on Spectre? You absolutely cannot. So I think if it comes to jungle farming, Terrorblade is going to win by a mile. You don't want to have that sort of trade.
Terrorblade's rotated mid in order to see if he can just finish off this tower.
Oh, Haunt's been used. I'm looking for where a kill might be. I cannot see any opportunities. I'm not sure why the Haunt was used. Was it a misclick? Perhaps. Maybe they thought they were going to make something happen. But no, they didn't. So now Haunt is down for nearly 3 minutes. No, it's exactly 3-minute cooldown. That's a very long cooldown.
Earth Spirit spots a low HP Spectre now.
Not enough damage, I don't think. Or maybe I'm wrong. We're going to find out. No, that's a huge one. Nice body blocking. Rotating. He's going to be fine. Only level 4 Earth Spirit. It's not enough to kill a level 7 Spectre with max dispersion. Salves up again.
I guess that is why you max that.
Oh, there may be a bit of a fight in the Dire jungle. We've got a bit of rotation, but Viper's standing strong, just scaring away the Death Prophet. Yeah, I don't think anything's going to happen, though. The Earth Spirit is a little bit out of position. He's going to roll. I'm assuming a TP is going to come out. Is he thinking about it? Yes, he is. Witch Doctor can't get quite in range. And he's going to be fine.
It took 4 heroes, all just giving up their duties in order to like try and chase down, what, a level 3 Earth Spirit just running around your jungle trying to cause trouble?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, what are they doing in the meantime, the Radiant? Well, Terrorblade's farming, Jakira's getting some solo XP, Viper's farming the jungle camps. It's a lot of space that was made by him, so really well played.
I think Earth Spirit's entire job is just to run around and be as irritating as possible.
Yeah,
Hi there.
That's what a +4 should do.
Keep in mind, I've only just noticed that this Dire team only have 1 non-ultimate disable on their entire team. That's gonna hurt.
Oh, the Witch Doctor. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did talk about that actually. The first 2 picks, didn't we? They need to pick some disable, and they ended up going with Tide, which Ravage is fantastic, but they don't. Like you said, they are relying on that ultimate, which I don't think they've actually used yet. So it's quite hard for them to get pickoffs.
And it also means you can't catch irritating rock men who just show up in your house one day demanding sacrifices. Looks like you might see a second tower go down up on top.
Yeah, they are really aggressively pushing. They've already taken 2 towers. Bot lane tower still remains. But this is really early.
This DP with ult up.
Can't see her. She's just going to walk away. I don't think there's going to be a fight here. Quite a passive game, and this helps the Radiant.
TPs.
Can we just appreciate, this is something which is very unusual, I'd like to point out. We are only 12 minutes in, there are only 5 kills, yet the net worth difference is about 8,000. Oh, Mars has walked onto the high ground, gets immediately silenced. We're going with Spirit Cypher, now we've committed to DP. Oh, we're doing a lot of damage. Out comes the Ravage, it's all 3 heroes. Mars is going down, immediately dies. The Witch Doctor, oh, can't go through the arena. Earth Spirit's here, but he's only level 4, he's going to die as well. And are they going to be able to chase the Viper? I don't think so. Witch Doctor nearly dies to the burn, but he's going to be fine. So, I mean, that's good for the Dire. They got 2 kills, but look, even after that, 1,000 gold change, still a 7k lead for the Radiant. So Dire, they've got a lot of work to do.
It's like, wow, we got the Mars. I can just imagine Terrorblade right now going, oh no. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Back to farming. Back to the jungle.
Spectre going for that Radiance, but the progress has been slow up to this point. Only 1,300 gold towards the Relic. So, I'm not sure how we can see more pace out of this hero. It's actually going to be really, really challenging.
I think Radiance is maybe a little bit greedy considering the lane. I mean, he's 0-0-0. He's not died at all. But I think Radiance is going to take quite a long time to come up. So I would probably be thinking about drums or something you can get a little bit quicker. But if you can get it, it still will help his farming. But he's going to have to be very patient and just keep trying to look for farm to build that item.
I think Mars is just teasing the Witch Doctor. I don't think either team actually want a committal out of this, but you know what? Red Hat do just want another tower. They can have it. You know, they have the Viper, very good at hitting the tower with the Dragon Lance. They have the Jakiro, can hit the tower.
We've used the Horn. Are the Radiant going to be gone on? Mars, he's popped the arena, goes straight onto Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor, he's not going to survive. Nice kill, nice easy kill. Terrorblade is here as well. I'm not sure if he wants to fight. Yes, I think he does. We're going all in. We've used the Viper on the Tidehunter. Can't be dispelled by the Kraken Shell. And Dying's popped his ult, but I think it's a little bit too late. He's being hit by the Terrorblade. He's going to instantly lose his Tombstone. And now they have Meta ready to take the tower. Already 2 nice kills. Ravage wasn't ready. And like you said, what can they do without Ravage? They have no stun. So Radiant can do whatever they want. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Looks like I'm giving credit to the wrong teams out here because it is indeed Google.
Whoa, that's great. He's just rolled straight in. We're going on. The Death Prophet just instantly gets deleted. They have so much catch with the Earth Spirit rolling in and Mars, who's now shipped a Blink Dagger towards him. They can find anyone and instantly kill them. And now they are definitely going to take that tier 2 tower. First tier 2 of the game, 15 minutes in.
Correction, Google killing the tower. But
Google
with the Terrorblade and the Viper and the Jakiro, yeah, you can't fight against it. Ravage is up, but like, doesn't mean you're going to be brave enough to actually use it right now. Nowhere near.
They can't stop the tower going down. They've already used the glyph. And now they can actually take the outpost. If they can take it before the 20-minute mark, that will really put them ahead. I mean, let's just have a look at the hero levels. You can see the Earth Spirit is only level 6, but he doesn't need to be high level. You know, he's annoying no matter what level he is, whereas the top 3 levels are held by the Radiant team. In fact, all 4 of the top levels are held by the Radiant at the moment, so they're doing a great job.
Spectre leading the team, but over 1,000 behind the Mars. Really, like, Spectre's done the best they can when it comes to staying out of trouble. Still not died at all, but this Radiant team puts so much pressure on all of the lanes that Spectre's been forced to the incredibly slow jungle. Usually, I think Spectre will be able to get a bit more up to pace, but Ghoul have done an amazing job of just running around and stopping you from farming in any lane for free. Can't have it.
Yeah, exactly that. And Spectre, even though she's kept out of trouble, or he's kept out of trouble, and managed to find a bit of farm, trying to get that Radiance, it doesn't help you farm because you're holding a massive amount of gold. Drums is only 1,500, Blade Mail's about 2,400. You know, you can even go Midas, it's about 2,000 gold. There's lots of options to accelerate the farm, and Spectre's chosen to keep going for that Radiance. So the Dire need to be pretty defensive for another, I'd say, at least 5 minutes before the Radiance is up, and they might struggle. We're going to have to see what they can do. They have smoked. You can see a smoke has been popped in their own triangle, so they are going to look for a kill. Will the Viper die? They have set the go ahead, so we're going to unpause now. Let's watch what the Dire do with their smoke. They're approaching mid.
Manta out on Terrorblade.
Oh, he's going to farm fast with the Manta. Do they want to dive the tower? Do they want to dive the tower?
I think
Red Hat are thinking about it.
They're looking for something that they're not going to find.
Yeah, the Radiant and Google at the same time went to the enemy jungle. So they're both in each other's jungle, not doing anything.
They have been spotted under the ward, but they will happily take that outpost.
They will.
And we do segue right into our tier 2 items, just about to start spawning as well. Oh, I was hoping for Mars to get one off the little kobold he spawned, but unfortunately
that's always fun,
not.
Isn't it? When you dig it up with the shovel and immediately get an item from it. I love that.
Going straight for evasion, well, on that Terrorblade, which is interesting because there's not actually that many attacks that come out on the other team. A lot of it is AoE. Does the Death Ward have True Strike? It doesn't.
I think so. Yeah, I think it does. I don't think
it doesn't until Aghanim's. Doesn't until Aghanim.
Oh, is that true?
Actually, that does block a lot. That does block a decent amount of the damage.
Well, 15 move speed is not a lot, but 16% evasion is a decent amount. So they've nearly taken the tower. Oh, looks like the arena's been used. Immediately going on the Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor's dead. Ravage is used. Nice heal from the Undying. They actually hit everyone with the Ravage, but I don't think they have damage to kill the Mars. They're trying. They might bring him down. I think they will. Spectre's used the Horn. There's a lot of damage coming out. This Magnetize, along with the damage from Viper, I don't think the Dire stand a chance. In fact, they do find another kill. Spectre's going to go down. Death Prophet dies from the dot. And that is a full team wipe. Triple kill for the Viper. And it's the same story as last time. Yes, they killed Mars. Yes, they killed Earth Spirit. But if you're not killing Terrorblade and Viper, you know, you're not winning these fights.
That really hurt. It felt like every big spell and every single trump card just came out there. You know, the Exorcism came out, the Ravage, the Haunt, the Flesh Golem. Almost every single tool the team could have used, and they just did nothing with it at all. They just let, and the thing is, the whole fight, Terrorblade wasn't even playing. He was just hitting the
Witch
tower.
Doctor, he tries to defend his racks, and he's just going to go down. This is 18 minutes, and we're already hitting the barracks. This is a very early push lineup. 15,000 gold ahead. Range rack's already gone. Do they have the means to take the melee racks? We're going to find out. They're trying, but they might be backing off. We're going to have to see if they decide to double back. I know Google want it.
So what is the comeback play for Red Hat here? What can the Spectre try and achieve? Fairly close to the Sacred Relic, I guess. Bit by bit.
It looks like he's going to commit to it no matter what, right? He's chosen, he said it in his mind, I'm going to buy Radiance, and nothing is going to stop him from achieving that goal. He is fairly close to the relic, like you said, 500 gold. They really, really need the relic. I mean, if you look at the current gold, Spectre's holding 3,400 of it. So not only are they 15k behind, but 3,000 of the gold is not in use. So that about half of Spectre's net worth is doing nothing right now, and that makes these fights all the harder.
Middle tower is under attack.
He has found the bottom lane, but immediately there's just a hero straight up. And meanwhile, at the same time on mid, we're off again.
Looks like we're going for a fight. Mars, he just goes in again, using the arena to great effect. Traps 3 heroes in it. And actually, Tidehunter looks like he was stuck as well. And now they just run through with the slows. They have so much control thanks to the Viper and the Earth Spirit. Looks like Tidehunter does manage to escape, but they've already killed 3 heroes. This Mars with the aggressive arenas, he doesn't mind throwing his life away. He takes a lot of damage, but in fact, this time he manages to live. Spectre did not have Haunt ready, and doesn't look like they had Ravage either. They are really struggling without those big ultimates.
Middle tower has fallen.
And again, it didn't take everything. Gee, okay, it took everything according to the fight recap, but it takes a lot of low cooldown ultimates. A lot of ones that are really easy to get back. You know, Macropyre's back in an instant. Arena doesn't take terribly long. Viper strikes back in an instant. Magnetize isn't as well overwhelming, 100 seconds. So they can just fight like every 100 seconds on the dot every time. Boom, let's go again, let's go again, let's go again. Meanwhile, this Dire team, they have to wait around the 150 Ravage and the 160 Haunt, and then don't even get close to winning the fight with it right now.
It just definitely, it's one more thing that Dire don't want to have to deal with. They can get a few pickoffs if they use the Ravage, if they commit the Haunt. If they don't have them, they are so far behind. This is basically just a farming game. I mean, have a look at the last hits. 167 on the Terrorblade. Yes, Spectre's in second place, but then you've got 134 on the mid lane Viper, 87 on the Mars, which is also ahead of the mid laner, which is Death Prophet. And look at Jakiro, 43 last hits. That's more than Tidehunter.
And to rub salt into the wound, Arcane Rune on the Terrorblade so that he can meta to take the Aegis almost uncontested.
Wow, that's a 50-second reduction in cooldown from the Arcane Rune, so that is massive. And then use that to take the Roche, and then Metamorphosis is going to be up probably by the time you go to take the last towers. So I think this game may end pretty quickly. We'll have to see if the Dire can have one big defense.
I wonder if they'll actually give Aegis to Viper. Just because TB, yeah, is especially weak with an Aegis because he can't meta through it. So Viper is actually the hero to take that. He is actually leading the net worth. We've not really noticed how much damage he's doing. If you remember that big team fight around that top tower, like, Google were dominating that fight, even though Terrorblade wasn't even playing the game. He was just hitting the tower, yeah, the whole time. And yet they still won that fight 4v5 handedly because Viper is also just an absolute god at pumping out damage, almost has an AC for free, as well as all these magic damage spells that are clearly just killing people in a heartbeat. So TB, you could just relegate TB to you hit towers while we play the game and still probably do perfectly fine. In fact, that's been the strategy they've quite enjoyed so far.
You can at this point, I mean, considering how strong the Viper is, and he's a hero who you don't see the immediate impact of in a team fight because he is constantly doing damage, but there's nothing bursty or really flashy like the Arena. We call out the Arena, we call out Earth Spirit going in, we call out Terrorblade when he pops Metamorphosis, but Viper's just sitting at the back, spitting out enormous amounts of damage and pretty much winning these team fights, like you said. Dire, they've smoked, and I think they're going to look for one final set of pickoffs because if they don't find it, their towers are going to swiftly fall.
We are super close to this Radiant, but then so is Mars and Earth Spirit.
Well, it looks like there's a fight from the Spectre. He's had to use Haunt. He's going to try and escape. Is he going to teleport to the mid lane? Yes, he does. He does manage to teleport out. Where is that Spectre? Actually stunned by the Jakiro, but I think he's still going to go out. They have committed the Death Prophet ult. Exorcism has been used, and they are running in. Oh no, this is bad for the Viper, but he does have the Aegis, so he can stand his ground while his team turn out. In fact, he actually may find some kills. Yes, he's maledicted. He's doing a lot of damage to Spectre. I think Spectre's going to die. Too many dots on the Spectre. Then they kill the Witch Doctor too. Now we're chasing the Death Prophet. Out comes the Ravage. Blink Ravage catches 3, but I think it's going to be very defensive. Nice use of the Rod of Atos. Death Prophet goes down. Tied as well. And we do have 2 buybacks, but I can't see what the tower can really do at this point. I think Linyx Assassins, they're going to struggle to defend this tower. Terrorblade is here with the Manta, with the Metamorphosis.
Holy moly! That's the GG!
23 minutes in.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Wow, I mean...
Dire's middle barracks are under
That's from the wrong team.
Oh,
Oh, well.
Dire's middle barracks.
Guess you... Oh, I'm being blindsided here 24/7. Well, let's just say how much of a game is there left here.
Yeah, about 30 seconds probably.
I hate to say it. You hate to ever count somebody out, but every ult was committed for very little. And guess which team has every single ult back up again, except for the meta, which is kind of an ult in our heart.
It is basically an ultimate. I mean, the Dire are going to try, but we're rolling in immediately onto the Death Prophet. Death Prophet sitting in the Magnifier. Nice Ice Path goes onto the Tide Hunter. Tide's going to die too. They nearly got a kill on the Earth Spirit, but you don't want to kill on the Earth Spirit. Arena was used. Unfortunately, misses the Spear, but still trapped 3 heroes in there. We'll find the Witch Doctor. Or will he? Witch Doctor living on 1 HP. No, is going to go down, and so will the Undying. It's another full team wipe. Spectre's being killed in the base. Gets Atos onto the Nether Toxin, and it's just going to die. Too many dots, literally standing in the fountain, and can't out-heal the dot. So it's an immediate full team wipe. 30k net worth difference. All the racks are dead. There's not a lot they can do at this point, let's be honest.
Yeah, the Mega's out 30k net worth. I want to see that team net worth graph. Ooh, look at that. Not even a blip.
Probably the first, like, what, 5 minutes were pretty even, and then, Google just took hold of this game.
It's okay, because Dota Plus says there's a 1% chance. So,
oh, there you go.
Team fight, because they never discount the Spectre. He can buy back.
Never give up.
Won't.
Well, I think these are just a few more easy kills for Google.
Horn will be up. You never know.
Yeah, it's up. We still don't have the Radiance. 25 minutes into the game. Maybe you need to sell a Wraith Band and just buy the Radiance.
Spectre got so close. Like, you don't need quelling at this point. You just don't. You're not hitting a creep anytime soon. So, just commit. You have the Exorcism. What are you, scared?
Buy the Radiance, come on. Sell that Wraith Band and buy that Radiance. I want to see it. Oh, there's no chance. He's trying. Had to use the Horns. Nice use of the Ice Path. Stuns most of the Dire team. Actually, they may be able to kill the Mars. Mars buys a BKB from the shop. They may lose Jakiro, but look at this Terrorblade. He is an absolute monster. Yes, Witch Doctor channeling his ult gets instantly taken down. And they could just dive that Undying. I think they will, actually.
The creeps will finish the job, as they say.
2 kills from the Fountain. Fountain MVP for Linyx Assassins. But that's going to be a pretty decisive victory.
Well, there's an extent to which some people love to see it. Some teams love to see incredibly well-played Dota. Other people, they want to see something a bit longer. They hate to see it. It's a bit of a 50-50, but whoa, what execution. What execution from that Terrorblade and the Viper. Some people like to think of Terrorblade as a sort of like sit alone and farm hero, but you know what? You've got an active team. You're going to draft an active Earth Spirit and a Mars to run around the map. You can just get him online immediately. Heartbeat, overnight.
Well, he had the space that he needed. And I said they needed a hero who could generate that space. And Viper did a perfect job at doing that because he got multiple kills in his lane. He rotated when he needed to. He managed to take the mid tower down. And then the Terrorblade had all the farm he wanted. He was farming the jungle. He could farm the lanes. And then he thought, well, it's about time I turn up. All the towers immediately got deleted. And they won the game. And you also pointed out that the Dire, they were so reliant on those ultimates. So Linyx Assassins, they needed the Ravage, they needed the Haunt. And if they didn't have those 2 up, they had no chance at winning a team fight. So maybe in the future, they need to think about drafting at least a few heroes with reliable lockdowns that don't rely on ultimates so that you don't have to, commit everything just to get 1 or 2 pickoffs. So I think that's maybe where they fell a little bit flat in their draft.
I may have to point this out because it's a personal bugbear of mine. I'm looking at the Linyx Assassins inventories to see that free players are missing neutral items. It's not
3
acceptable.
of them.
It's not
Is that a bug, or
acceptable, people.
is that actually happened?
I just think they didn't pick those up. I think the team must have dropped them. I'm pretty sure I did see both teams hit all their items, but I'm the one pinging my teammates constantly. Just take something. Just take something. I'm not sure that would have been the game changer, but it's just something deep down in the back of my head makes me think. So there was a lot of great players this game. Who do you think was the coolest player this game? I know it's easy to just always say it's the carry, but I think everybody played a good part in that. So give me your interesting takes here.
For Google, I would actually say it's the Mars, because even though he died 3 times, which is actually the most in his team, him along with the Earth Spirit, they were just so willing to throw their lives away if it could set up a good team fight. So Backy on the Mars, he just went straight in, blinked, got a big arena. He died a few times, didn't matter. They still won the team fight. So I like how willing he was to engage those fights and set up really fantastic arenas. So I'm going to say he takes my sort of personal MVP vote.
Interesting, Jakiro went 8-0, but I would agree on the Mars. I think he was the playmaker player. The numbers don't say it, but you got to put those cores into great places to go 13-0. You know, you got to actually set up everything they need. So this game was a bit of a quick doozy as Google Back2Bascis take the first win in the second phase and get one step closer to the top 12 playoffs. Stay tuned, though, because shortly after the end of this broadcast, we have a replay from week 4. And the reason I'm drawing your attention to this is because if you thought that game was a bit boring, we have something awesome coming up for you. This game is worth your time and helps pad out our time a little bit. So thanks for watching this.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and please stay tuned so you can watch a fantastic game that was streamed and recorded a few weeks ago. Bye.
Oh, have a good one, everybody. Good.
So I work at Amazon. I'm actually part of the Ops Tech IT team, which is just like operations IT. Aside from that, I just pretty much game. I'm at home with my fiance and 4 cats and taking care of our newborn son.
We are here today for the Corporate Esports Association Overwatch 2020 Spring Playoffs. It is going to be a spectacular day. I'm through most of it, only does get one as the Blizzard comes out on the backside. T also going to find the Deadeye onto Specs on the high ground. Google has to press on the pedal to try and touch this point, and they're not! Oh, it comes up short. Amazon Fire Force will be able to take Volskaya Industries.
CEA to me is like an organization that pulls together a lot of these like top companies around the world. I think it's like a great team building function, and then also it's for a great cause. It's for charity.
And since two members showed up in the top lane, they're immediately going to go for the dive in the mid lane with the damage on the Pandoria. Going to be able to pick up the kill. Twice over for Apocalypse. Everyone else is going to be running for the hills. Nobody wants to be able to join in this fight. With the minions there, the Baron's still on everybody. This is going to be the grand finals for Team Amazon Stock Dip. They've got the money, $5,000 for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. They have secured it for themselves with a 3-0 victory.
Yeah, so like losing to Adobe was like pretty heartbreaking. I got like the 2nd place trophy in the mail. I'll see it like every day. I'm like, it's like a reminder, like you have to do better. You always have to like somebody out there is better than you. Like you should always try to be the best. But like we're definitely gonna come back way stronger, way better. We don't want to drop another game during the season. We definitely don't want to lose in grand finals.
Adobe Illustrators taking this next map.
Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the Corporate Esports Association Fall 2020 Dota 2 Cup. I said that all in one breath. We missed a game on week 4, but we are back to bring it to you in all of its glory. I'm Howie here, and we have good old Snare back again.
Hello.
How's it
this
been?
time I'm up here.
How's it been since the last show? Even.
It's been okay. There's a small heat wave that's affecting the country right now, so that's a big problem because, you know, one of the things that you really hate, you know how awful it is to be losing Dota while it's sweltering hot. It's terrible. It sucks. But besides that, I'm okay. I'm doing well.
Yeah, well, it rained today, so that's ruined my entire mood, quite frankly, taking it from top down to the bottom. So for reference, this is the week 4 match. This was the week of the 10th of October. We couldn't quite catch it live on stream, but we're not going to deprive you of that kind of fun. And we're going to be playing between the teams Kabam and Discord, or more like techies go Kabam and Discord. Kabam, good old mobile game developer. Discord, hope you know who they are at least. Fail of Discord, we saw them in the pre-season week losing their game, and they've only won one game up to this point in the whole event, whereas Kabam have one other under their belt. Two fairly low-ranking teams. I kind of like these matches. What do you think?
Yeah, I also kind of really like these scrappy matches, right, where it's not going to be a thing of, all right, somebody's just getting utterly dominated from top to bottom. It's people fighting in the same weight class, so that makes it more interesting and fun to actually engage with. And I think as well, whenever you have these lower clashes, that's where things get spicy, right? These games where, hour-long, 2-hour-long games where things just start breaking all across the map generally tends to happen in this kind of bracket of Dota. So I'm quite excited about what's going to happen here. It's not going to be another Amazon special just stomping over people in 20 minutes,
It is sometimes fun just seeing where Amazon puts their time into the Dota team. On one hand, I'd like to see what Fair Discord can do. It was only a preseason game, probably one of their first games playing together as a 5. On the other hand, a new team with techies in the name, it's all my sort of stuff. We've had this debate before, though, so let's not drag it on for too long.
It's a great debate.
We're just about ready to get down into the draft, so let's get going. Kicking off into the draft. 2 very early bans. Slightly unusual, actually, but I do like this sort of stuff. Give us some more info about that one.
Yeah. I mean, Anti-Mage with the Ancient Apparition. Anti-Mage is fine to be banning, so Kabam don't really have to fear anything from that, but kind of weird to see Ancient Apparition being taken out these days. Not a hero that we often see unless it's in very specific combos and pairings. I know that like in Southeast Asia, there is a bit of famousness right now with AA Zeus, but in the pub scene at the very least. But yeah, in this game, I don't know. They better be cooking out something special. The only thing I can imagine is that they want to play some IO strat. Wouldn't it be amazing? Wouldn't it be amazing if after the drubbing they got in preseason, they've now evolved and they're going to come emerge with some wisp strategies? It'd be awesome.
It's all about the meme gameplay. It's all about the IO, tether onto them immediately, play carry. You're never going to be OG, though. That's the thing. And if you're going to be OG, this is a fine league and I love it, but this isn't where you're going to get your big break and the world's going to hear of it at the same time. You've got to expand your horizons past that point, surely. Go big!
Have to grind it out. Go big. Speaking of go big, actually, you see this ban here on the Medusa? Part of me thought about this with Ancient Apparition, but then not struck me, Howie. I was like, when was the last time I saw Medusa win Dota? It feels like such a long time ago. That's like, you know what? you just leave it. There's not even a point banning this hero. It's like, y'all really want to play that? Okay.
Sometimes you just want to sit there and hit people with arrows. And that's really all it is.
Now, then you play Drow Ranger if you want to do that.
Yeah, but like Drow Ranger makes you have to think because you're squishy and like you die easily. But with Medusa, you can't move, so mobility is not on the table. You're a snake. You just and also you don't like die, so you can just plink, 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 plink. It's not my problem.
Not the only things you actually do with these kind of heroes is A-click, but especially with Drow, A-click and use multi-shot. Oh snap! Okay, this is beautiful. Fail of Discord is already bringing something nice here. No matter what, Howie, this game is going to be fun. We have Warlock Sand King on the one side, right? Which means that Fail of Discord is waiting for this OP team fight. And at the same time, Techies go Kabam, go Disruptor Centaur, right? Which means that they're trying to chase the game and push the envelope all the time. It's a go lineup. Like, these heroes are honestly, like, one of the reasons you rarely see Disruptor Centaur anymore at all in a lot of these draws because of how dependent they are on you already winning the game and being in a winning position. So that means Kabam has faith. So they're going to pursue the game and give us a show. I'm already excited about this.
Big supporter of Chad Raptor. Big fan of that man. Max Glimpse and just send people flying around the map. You don't need to think about your other spells.
I used to be a fan of Disruptor, but not happened. I moved from playing carry to offlane. And I was like, this Disruptor hero sucks, dude. You're always messing up my laning phase.
Gotta be careful when you TP. You can't be seen. You gotta do it stealth in the act because you'll be caught no matter what MMR you are, no matter how well you play this game. He will catch you unawares.
Yeah. And in this game, they already have the Centaur as well. So that means that the reach that they have is monumental. My God. This
Well,
is
so
not going to be a fun game for Warlock, man.
So I'm having some brief technical problems here with the band. So you're just going to need to hold my hand through this like wooded forest a little
Alright.
bit and just tell me what we're seeing.
So Fate of Discord now they took out
10
Underlord
seconds
second, and they just
remaining.
banned out this Void Spirit here in phase 2. Techies go Kabam erstwhile.
5
They
seconds
remove
remaining.
Spectre, so they're denying Fate of Discord additional team fight, whilst Fate of Discord is recognizing that, yo, we cannot give more mobility over to Techies go Kabam. So they're most likely just going to ban out all 3 spirits in a row. Maybe they reserve one ban for like a Queen of Pain or something. But for the most part, it's going to be, do not let them get heroes who, with very little effort, can reach the backline. Which actually leads me to believe that these hard carry bans coming from Techies go Kabam, another one we see Slot get taken out now almost instantly afterwards, kind of leads me to believe that Fate of Discord, they don't have last overall pick, but maybe Techies go Kabam knows something about them and that they actually have a 4 protect 1 kind of strat being planned here, like based around just massive overall team fight.
10
I mean, like,
remaining.
It is possible.
Both
I hope it is.
teams could do it. Centaur Disruptor is aggressive, but if
5
you do need a
seconds
meat shield and you
remaining.
do need someone to get people off your carry, those 2 heroes aren't too bad at it so far. So it's a little bit too early to tell exactly the full direction of this all. Although maybe we can see techies. Sorry, that's my peanut brain just going off again.
No.
Bring it back.
No.
Bring it
I'm
back.
gonna walk around with an anti-techie stick and be like, Howie, no techies. No techies. No techies. So
not even as a treat. Grand final.
no techies.
Game 5.
No techies. No techies.
You're
No,
poking me,
no,
poking
techie
me
stick.
hard.
Anti-techie stick.
These next picks are going to really set up the sort of momentum of what teams want to do now. If it is going to be aggression versus team
10
fight, then so
seconds
be it.
remaining.
I love seeing these warring factions come up against each other.
5 seconds
I'm
remaining.
kind of worrying and wondering what are the carry players going to do in this game, because at the end of the second phase, Fate of Discord actually took out the Morphling rather than another high mobility hero, and Techies go Kabam took out the PL. So there's like, what, 3-4 carries left in the pool that are really pickable right now?
It is another fairly aggressive hero in the Ogre Magi. Not very team fight heavy, can stun like one person, but he's sure going to beef up your carry, make them run very, very fast. Maybe even rush Midas.
10 seconds remaining.
I haven't seen Midas in such a long time. It's awesome.
5 seconds remaining.
I remember live on stage at the last ESL Hamburg that we would ever get to see. God rest Land's soul. The camera started focusing on Ogre Magi, and the entire crowd would go as he was about to use it and cheer if it doubled up. And the thing is, like, the German fans are not as funny as like the Birmingham fans. Yeah, they appreciate the game, they're great, but they don't often have inside jokes. So the fact the fact they came up with that inside joke was brilliant. I was into it. It was a boring game. Ogre was just around there, Midas in camps.
You know, you gotta love the situation where you actually get to see memes being created live before your very eyes. It's one of the most beautiful things. It refreshes the soul to have top tier memes coming out, you know?
And to see, I was a part of this. I was one of the DHL cheerers. I don't know why anyone did it. No one knows why they did it. That wouldn't help. Using a lot of reserve time there to pick out a Jakiro, but it's another hero with a big AoE ultimate. Are we getting a little bit too obvious here? Are we going to see a Faceless Void before it gets banned?
Oh my goodness. I think if I'm taking Go Kabam, I pick Void myself right now. You pick Void, and there's very little left.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just free real estate. Like, it feels like it's already over.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
It's going to be a major issue. So, Viper now gets picked up by Techies go Kabam. This is nice as a pick because it really is just about this early game for Techies go Kabam. They're not really worried about this game extending too deeply. So that means that the last carry pick that they pick is going to be something that can take advantage of the timings being created. PL being gone by them means that there's no illusion clear that they need either. Well, it's not like Fate of Discord. You can't really reveal a Terrorblade at this point now that the Vipers come out. Well, you still can, but you need to be super confident you can protect that hero long term. But just pick Lifestealer or Void. Okay, it's going to be Lifestealer. Now you really pick Void, dude.
So going into our last phase of bans, what's been the trend of direction for both teams here, and what do you think is missing wide open? You can see more than I can.
What they need right now, Kabam needs damage. They don't have any damage right now. Nobody dies. Fate of Discord recognize this and they ban out the Phantom Assassin as their second to last ban overall. And Fate of Discord, as much as they have a lot of team fight, they've got some Disable, they kind of don't have the best lanes on planet Earth, but the real worry for them, in my
10
opinion,
seconds
is going to be the
remaining.
fact that they have absolutely
team
no
back.
way of engaging the fight deeply in. Once the Sand King jumps in, that's pretty much all they have at this point. So this Viper, for example, if he buys BKB or just gets himself a Pipe of Insight, okay, cool. Then the only thing that really threatens him then is this Lifestealer. And I don't really see Lifestealer having... I mean, the Lifestealer is going to have a decent game because of the lane versus Centaur is quite good. But it doesn't feel like a game where Lifestealer
5
pops
seconds
just yet.
remaining.
There's just a lot of ways to bait this hero around. And despite the fact that Fail of Discord have massive team fight, they don't have like easy ways to be able to reach the fight from afar. MK gets banned now as well from Techies Gokabam. This is a hero that would have made things very nice for the Dire side. You know, you have this one hero that even if you get stampeded into, just holds an area and make sure that you can't actually fight around there. Would have been quite nice. And
It's been a lot of carries. It's been a lot of carries getting knocked out.
Huskar ban now as well as the final ban. Jeez. Fail of Discord, okay,
Just
guys.
want to say no.
10
Just in
seconds
case.
remaining.
Just in case. Let's see.
5 seconds
Techies Gokabam
remaining.
have the final ban here, and thank God they're not going to pick Techies because that would lose them the game. So then the question is, what is going to be the next pick for them? I still kind of really feel this Queen of Pain, man. Like, if they have a hero, like Queen of Pain or Ember Spirit for me are probably the best heroes for Techies Gokabam. So especially since they also have last overall pick, so they can make sure that they're safe. Oh no, wait, they can't. They already have their mid hero. The Viper's going to go mid, so they just need hard carry. So there's no damage. There's no damage. Just Sven or Faceless Void, honestly, at this point. What else is left? Techies Gokabam finally ban out the Shadow Fiend as the final ban.
I'm surprised. I mean, there is an extent to which, yes, this is very much for fun Dota, and we're not, the top of the meta is not necessarily being followed at all times by many teams going around. There are a lot of teams that don't necessarily play it professionally, but I've had enough of Sven in my own games. I would have maybe said goodbye to him already. But it's interesting that both of these big power cores are being left open. Sniper! And that's how we're going to do it! Oh,
Right.
What's this? Like, the Lifestealer is now the 4 to protect the 1? So what I'm seeing is, on this Fail of Discord, they actually lack a lot of control here. Yes, they have a Sand King. That's about the best they have, though. Ice Path is hard to hit, and you have a Sniper on your team. You know, you really need to do a lot more for him. I want to see it hit hard. I want to be proven wrong. Meanwhile, Techies Gokabam with that Sven wide open, they now have the jump because he's buying Ag's first item. And they just have a team that can very quickly fight. Give a little bit of space to that Sven, he's straight out there. Lifestealer is going to give you trouble, but you got counterpicked by the Sven into the Sniper. Like, with that Axe, he could just press Q on you and you're probably done. This is going to be tricky for Fail of Discord, but I love the bravery, and I can never say no to something out of the ordinary.
Here's the issue, though, Howie. Here's the issue, right? Out of the ordinary is fine, but remember, actually, this is similar to the last game that we did together when they did that last pick on the Razor, and it's like, oh, this might be interesting, but the way that the game played out and the things that they needed from the game, the heroes, especially they also put ET in the offlane, I believe, right? And it's like, okay, this doesn't give you what you need to fix the problems in the draft. In this game, not only, like you were mentioning, is Sven going to get this Agnum Scepter and just like raffle stomp onto the Sniper's head. He's playing into, if you try playing Sniper into Centaur Disruptor, I can tell you from experience, it is awful. It is
not the Centaur. I did forget about the Centaur. Why even live?
Yeah, it's going to be awful. Well,
with that,
it's going to be
we
fun.
are ready to go.
Prepare for battle.
Some wonderful names coming out on both teams. And looking out of our lanes, it is Sven Ogre, level 1 Ignite, back into vogue, as they say. Disruptor, Centaur going up as the friends they like to be. They'll be facing the Lifestealer Warlock combo. It's going to be fairly defensive, I think, let that Lifestealer farm up a fair bit. Usually it will be a challenge for a lot of heroes, but Rage might make that lane easier than many other heroes would have. You know, you kind of see the Stomp combo coming at some point and Rage it off. And this Sven Ogre is going to be playing up against the Sand King Jakiro. Lots of interesting lanes, kind of what you expected, but at the same time it has some interesting dynamics for these matchups. Although Disruptor has shown up bot as well. Looks like they're interested in sending 3 out on that rune. Although... And he's
You can't afford to
Sniper.
actually get up on your runes when you're playing Sniper. Sniper, you know what Sniper kind of reminds me of, bro? It feels like, whenever I have a Sniper on my team, I feel like I have bad Alchemist. Where it's like, bro, you're taking up all these resources. Like bad Alchemist, like more like bad Medusa, which is bad because your hero kind of sucks.
They're ready to go. Sven gets the Storm Hammer and the double stun and the double ignite. There is a Burrow Strike through the middle, but the Ice Path doesn't do much. Jakiro might get away with his life here. They've run out of spells, and Sniper can now just tap away on that Disruptor on the back line. I think everyone might make it out of this alive, and Disruptor with a rune.
Oh god.
Fairy Fire out on the Disruptor. He's going too deep, that Sand King. He's burned all his mana for his Burrow Strikes. He's going to eat more stuns, but the triple Ice Path cuts it off. I think they want their Sand King. The Ignite's out. Does have Burrow, but that will do enough damage. Well, that was an interesting little skirmish. That's a lot of spells. 3 Ignites, 2 Thunder Strikes, 2 Storm Hammers, 3 Shrapnels.
But Howie, the joke's on them. The joke's on them because this Observer Ward that the Ogre had to plant out to make sure they got that kill. Now there's one less ward for the lane. Hashtag calculated. Sand King you. It's all according to plan.
It's simple resource management. Simple geometry. The Orb of Venom Ogre, of course, going to be tapping some heroes with that club all day long.
To be fair, though, there's not really much to do to hurt these heroes, right? They're pretty beefy down bottom.
The Sand King against, they are beefy, but it's Sand King against double melee. I'd be investing hard in Caustic Finale. Like I want them to have no fun near the creeps all day. That said, yeah, we might not see too many kills for a long time here. A lot of these heroes couldn't live their lives. And the Disruptor back up top to harass down that combo. The Lifestealer could honestly put up with this nasty combo. It's entirely possible that they, because this combo was first picked by the Kabam team straight away, that the Lifestealer was responding, hey, we can do that. You can just see the glimpse coming with Rage very, very quickly. While watching top lane where there is a conflict, looks like the first blood did kick off on bot lane with the Ogre Magites and the Sven burning their spells to get down a Jakiro, who is the one vulnerable hero in the lane. I mean, there's not much he can do, and Ice Path is a slightly sad level 1 ability that you kind of only take because you have a first-blood skirmish that demands it, and even then, Dual Breath is so good. I mean, Dual Breath is so good that he was left kind of hopeless. All you really have then is a Burrow Strike. He does get his level 2 in Caustic Finale instead of the Sandstorm. He is going to try and play around that.
Yep. The one bright spot I think that they also do have if we look towards this mid lane is the fact that, though it might be the case that Vipers are undoubtedly going to come away the victor in this lane, but you can't actually really kill the Sniper unless Sniper massively overextends, especially as levels are gained. So Doggo will be able to farm a lot, but man, I don't get the sense that the Sniper's going to have a fun game. He's already being mega harassed. By the time the mid game starts, every single glimpse is going to be targeted against him with the Stampedes. Doggo, he basically has to be a boss.
They have some stuns, but they don't necessarily have the full sort of protection that a Sniper demands. Up on the top lane, Lifestealer taking some heat. He doesn't have the rage yet, but just about being kept alive by the Shadow Word. He did
lose his career.
He might have to lose the career as a consequence. It looks like he got his item delivered, although he is going to have to wait out for that Blightstone. Just a minute's time. Not the end of the world in this case, though, but it does mean that we have 2 kills up.
Yep. They are in a decent position for themselves right now on the side of Techies Kabam. This top lane is probably the lane that is, at this point, I'm slightly distressed if I'm playing on the side of Failed Discord, because this is a bit of a problem. This Lifestealer lane was supposed to go better than this into the Centaur, but the build that he went for here, he's gone 1-1-1 at level 3.
He just ran into the Centaur thinking, come on and fight me, I have rage, but you're just kind of taking damage for free almost. And I know you do have a walking Salve next year, so you can justify these sorts of things yourself sometimes. But you're not, even though you can survive, I don't think the Lifestealer is a huge threat, especially with that Warlock by his side.
Yeah.
On the bottom lane, I've kind of changed my mind on what's going on here, and that Sven has actually taken quite a bit of heat, I've been noticing. Just this early level where he's not quite equipped to actually man-fight these guys. He's having to stand inside Sandstorms and Caustic Finales and Dual Breaths He's actually taking quite a bit of harassment, and this Ogre can stun to protect, but the heroes aren't quite at the point he's going to let them Chad overload him quite yet. Maybe it'll happen at one point, but Sven has been farming. 21 last hits, topping the leaderboard. He has been able to pick up the farm he needs, and Sniper has currently beaten up Viper in last hits.
That's kind of surprising. That's very surprising because I thought the Sniper would spend more time farming with the Nether Toxin, but looks like he's been putting a lot of eggs into this harass Doggo and make him feel like trash basket here. See, it's going to be seemingly a standard root rate. 2-2. Oh wait, invisible! No! No! Come on, Ogre. You can get 3 for your team. Come on, almost there, almost there. They're actually going to get 4, fam. Because on the other side, we see a Disruptor picks up the other bounty. So a lot of riches now flowing in the direction.
It looks like 3 out of 4. Jakiro was able to nab one last one, but it is still more money, and those tiny things do matter, as we already have stacked camps. I think Sand King just stole all those stacked camps with the Sandstorm. Stuck under the Sentry Ward, eats the double stun and dies. Those Sentries gonna really hurt his lane now, but I was paying attention down there actually. Ogre stacked the camp, Sand King did the whole thing with Sandstorm while Sven was hitting it. That's not fun.
Not at all. Unfortunately, there Muffins, the Jakiro, his excursion to go catch the bounty rune and make sure his team gets at least one, ends up getting the Sven or the Sand King down bottom killed. You know, caught a little bit sleeping there on the Sand King. As much as he stole the stack, I think at the stage of the game where it's more important to stay alive because his presence prevents, although you can't easily kill the Sven, his presence here makes sure that the Sven is always on the last pieces of his regen, never feeling comfortable about advancing beyond this point where we see the Sentry Ward is down bottom. So really, really bizarre for me that they opted rather and chose to pursue the bounty or the life of the Sand King. But at the same time, he's back, he's still getting his levels, should still be able to contribute to this game. We need that early blink from him ASAP, right? Because that is literally the only tool of initiation that they'll have. Imagine a game where the Sand King does not get blink, and they have to play into... I have to keep bringing up this combo, this Disruptor with the Centaur in the top lane, because this is how the entire game is going to get
that. The stun comes out, and the rage comes out too late to properly dodge the damage.
Yeah. Got caught sleeping, wasn't... When you're playing into this lane against Centaur and you're playing Lifestealer, as long as you just keep your pinky or your index finger hovering around the Q button, you should always be okay, but doesn't get the rage off in time, like you said, he dies. This is a problem. This is a problem because Centaur is level 5 now.
And the thing is, the Hoot Bomb is easy to catch. Sand King does try and jump the Ogre, but just about protected for now, as in like you do have enough lead time if you're paying a lot of attention. Disruptor goes in just to pick off one last little courier. It's not going to drop anything in the process, but that's going to give time for Lifestealer to come back. He is going to run through the Hoot Stomp there. Upheaval's going to slow down the Disruptor, and the Shadow Word's probably going to do enough damage. And another courier in return. Rage up in 4 seconds, but no open wounds means that's going to be a hard chase. Was that worth it for the Disruptor? You got a support courier and died for it, and lost the courier?
It's going to be more difficult than it would have been otherwise.
I think using that courier, like, swayed the balance back over, where it was almost even, maybe, but then you've also lost your own courier. Whoops.
Yeah.
And it's Centaurs.
No items for you, buddy. Once you finish these here phase boots, they're gonna stay at base until you go pick them up.
And in comes on bottom lane the Sven. Oh, nice ice path spots both of them, but the Sandstorm is now up, so it's only going to be a few hits to take down Sand King.
I didn't need Borrow Strike. Borrow Strike was available for him to try and escape that particular engagement. They're not done just yet, though.
It's only a level 1 Borrow Strike, so its range is pretty sad. Now, very close to Hero. Might make it
but you Borrow Strike into the trees, and then you TP out. Then you're perfectly safe. Then it's okay.
Well, that is a gamer's heart. I'm panicking. Sven ulted on me. I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore right now.
Yeah.
In terms of both safe laners are having a good time in the sense that they're beating their off laners, but Sven is miles ahead right now. Over 10 last hits ahead. He's hitting jungle camps every moment he can. He's getting his Morbid Mask in. Sven is out farming right now, and he's straight up, he's 2-0 to make up for it, you know? He's currently just hitting the timings he needs to, and we could see a very aggressive rundown very soon by this Radiant team. Meanwhile...
Not only is he getting all of this farm, look at this. You were mentioning as the Morbid Mask fan. He's about to pick up the Mask of Madness. This guy is going to be mega stacked in this game. And like you're mentioning, not only is he even just involved in kills, the fact that he can do this now, being in the jungle, leaves this bottom lane for Invisible. So him on the Ogre Magi, you know, you were memeing about the fact does he buy a Hand of Midas, but with the game going as well as it is right now, and with him being given the solo farming experience down bottom, it's not the most outlandish thing in the world.
Wow, there is no glove. There is no glove coming on the courier, so not quite yet. And Sven is just waiting in the enemy jungle with a ward by his side. Well, actually, no, he's being seen by that ward. I guess they are going to notice. Jakiro, meanwhile on top, yes, we do have the Lifestealer, jumps inside the Hellbear Smasher, he's going to get the slow, and then pop out, but the open wound is down. And during this time, there's so much stuff going on at once. Sven is just able to walk mid, ult, and just hit Sniper.
Yeah. They caught him with the Stormhammer as well as the Nether Toxin, and he folded almost instantly. They didn't even need to commit the Stampede to make that happen, which is very, very scary. And Fen, look at Sven, this didn't even interrupt his farming patterns. He's just like, oh, sweet, bonus gold from the Sniper, back to what I was already doing.
Like, you don't even need to, like, see the kill on mid to just know what happened. Sven met Sniper, and all was not very fun in this world. Lifestealer is starting to pick the pace up in this lane, but that Centaur is standing very close to a burning golem. That is one way to die, dying to the almost the right of the flaming fist there. And the Disruptor's going to get away with it, but he's done so long for the permanent immolation. At the same time, on bottom lane, Sniper is going to get his revenge as he catches out the Ogre Magi under his tower. Sven is in town, he does have Mask, but no ult. Is he going to catch anyone? I mean, there is a Sand King just hiding there. He has to come out eventually, right?
Yeah, but they also can't engage the Sven, even though there's 3 heroes here. They waited for that kill on the Ogre because they're punishing the dive, but Sentinel's coming bottom. They're going to go for the Stampede.
That tower is going to get denied just as he makes the TP in. Sand King really just got away with that.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm very surprised.
To be honest, they got exactly what they wanted. A kill for Sniper and a tower on Sven's lane. Now you do actually make life a bit less safe for him. So that's not a bad objective take. One of the things you can do with Sniper is just push in lanes and push in towers very, very quickly. So at least they're taking advantage of that. And until this excursion bot, he was even on last hits with Viper. He's now behind because he's had a bit of a journey with teammates trying to pick off some people. But he has not made the worst of it so far, even though he has died to the Sven. Double Wraith Band, double Pet Band of Elven Skin, still looking for the rest of that Dragon Lance. And the gold lead, it's less than 1k.
Yep, it's still a very even game farm-wise. Yeah, it's okay. I think the big thing for them is being able to find that kill and also not have... Like, Lifestealer definitely has picked up how he's playing, not just like his own farm rate. Actually, speaking of this Lifestealer, did you see that weird interaction with the Disruptor? So Disruptor, in that fight top, he caused kinetic field, right, around the Lifestealer trying to get the Centaur out to safety. And then what happened was that Lifestealer infested a Hellbear Smasher, and then he popped out. And then actually put him outside of the range of the kinetic field. Just like, what? That was so weird. That was so cool, though.
Next level plays. I thought it was going to be for the Hellbear Smash with the Q, but I don't think he ended up using it. I saw an interesting little conflict up top, though. Sven is 2 levels ahead of Lifestealer. They meet each other in lane, and they're not a threat to kill each other. Like, Lifestealer just can't stand near the creeps, because maxed out Cleave just, like, hits him for a quarter of his HP, and he's like, okay, I guess I just have to back off now. Like, even with these two being given a peaceful time, Sven is going to pull so far ahead so quickly, almost on the Echo Saber. Lifestealer's going to have to make things happen. I don't think he can play a tit-for-tat farming game right now. It's not going to pay off.
Yeah, he's going to have to go Omelette Deso. Actually, skipping the Omelette, he's going to rather go for Deso into the Basher. I'm not sure I agree with this. Actually, it looks like he might actually be rushing. Is he rushing the Basher? I hope not.
He's close enough to the Deso, and he's got 2 hammers lined up, so it looks like he will finish that off, but... You're just gonna farm slower. Like, now he's fallen another level behind, and Sven is going for the Ags now. So, like, you're just gonna farm slower. You just have to, like, try and kill people, I guess. It is a challenge, though. You're up against this just constant clock of the Sven.
It'll be fine. All they need is for the Sand King to actually pick up the Blink Dagger. He almost has it. this TP middle is definitely a mistake from the Sand King because he cannot afford to die here. He's gonna go for the fight
Get
though.
the Burrow Strike on the Disruptor and the nice Ice Path and the Golem and the Sniper Roll. There is no Fatal Combo to apply the damage. We are going to lose the Disruptor, and Viper is taking some damage. He has the GD rune, but he still can't react in time. Standing in the middle of a bunch of burn damages to Jakiro, he's going to go down, but they got the Disruptor buyback. He's bought back at TP, and he's not going to get anything for it. That was a really nice little set of pickoffs there.
I felt like a somewhat bizarre sequence of events, personally, because it kind of felt like on Radiant, they just walked directly into the damage that was being put out. Like, they all stood next to the column, they all like ran in a straight line through the macro pile. It was kind of bizarre, so either way, you know, do not look a gift kill in the mouth. They get themselves a kill off of it. But the big thing though is defending their tier 1 tower middle, and the TP from the Sand King, which I was just moments before impugning, ends up being extremely successful and nets him a Blink Dagger as a healthy reward. So now they actually have the capability to play more aggressively on the map. I think they maybe just wait for Warlock ult to come back, but no, actually you don't. Look at this. Lifestealer has finally picked up this Desolator. So I think it's a infest a Blink and try to get a kill time, baby.
I think they just underestimated the damage over time. Add up all the sources. You have the Golem AoE, which we've already fallen to once, the Shrapnel, the Sand King, and the Macropire. That's actually all like AoE damage over time. In comes the
nice
combo through the Sand King. Ice Path hits Viper in the middle. He's gonna go down. An upheaval slows the advance. Now I've only just noticed the first point Fatal Bombs has only now been picked up by the Warlock. Could have done a lot more damage sooner with the amount of damage coming out from this team. I could have done a lot more earlier than the maxed out upheaval, which has had its uses, but or Lifestealer flying a bit too close to the sun here. He does have the heal, but he's just standing under the enemy tower. And Sand King, I don't know where the hell he was to get picked off by that Centaur that deep. Sven has ult, and Marty's going to come back with the Stampede. Limitate to keep Warlock alive for now, but he's going to go straight for the Jakiro, who gets a nice Ice Path but isn't going to live for it. Sitting out there in the middle with the Warlock, also call out of position with no spells. He's going to glimmer again, but that leaves Sniper wide open. And possibly this Lifestealer, as soon as he's out of range, he's going to get glimpsed back. Is he going to get in vision? He's not going to get seen. Oh, that's why you max your glimpse. That's why you max your glimpse. Warlock's going to get away. Warlock's going to get away with this. Foolish for even thinking that a player that masterful at Glimmer Cake was going to get killed.
Knows exactly what he's doing. I should have just cast our eyes back, right? We might not have time. Looks like another fight's going to break.
Lovely Burrow Strike in the middle, but I think he's just going to try and slow them down. There's not too much he can do to stop this situation, and in fact, going to eat another kill to Sven. Lifestealer tries to run into the back line, but even if he gets this disrupted, it might hurt for him. Doesn't have rage up. He went into the creep! Off he goes! Sniper ult, it's not going to be enough! He is rooted in place, that's the end. Out comes the Golem with the Fatal Wound. Fatal Bonds, even Sniper in the backline. That's a lot of follow-up damage, and now Sven has nothing to react with.
Oh, he's fine. They didn't
What's
get the
going on? These fights are crazy.
Oh no, you might actually died.
Kill drop.
Oh my god.
Yes, to the Fatal Bonds and the dual breath. He's going to give up 600 gold. Burst like a pinata. I don't know what's going on in this game right now. This is brilliant.
All of this massive brawl, and only now does one of these towers fall on the Radiant side. Like, this massive brawl all started earlier on when they revealed the Blink Dagger with Sand King, which was really weird, right? Because they had this observer on the high ground from Tiki's Goku Band, so they saw the Sand King coming before he had Blink Dagger.
Sniper got Atos on mid. I was very scared for him for a second. Not now, sir, not now. And when even production reacts in your ear, you know it's a good game. So, we're off to a great start, just 18 minutes in. I mean, I'm not going to make predictions at this point. This is how we're going to fight. Back and forth, just trading this much gold. I think we should just sit back and think, okay, the Sven gave his life up a little bit there. He does almost have the Aghanims and going to go straight onto Daedalus. So, scary boy.
Yeah. He's,
and the Imp Claw, he just picks up the Imp Claw.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? I'm glad he actually skipped. He was building earlier towards Echo Saber, and I'm glad that he decided against it. I think somebody on his team was like, dude, You remember you're playing Sven, right? You should get Echo Saber. Or you should get the Axe. Like, oh, my bad. You're right.
Superman Sven coming in hot.
Yep.
I think Sand King is like tempted. No, I thought he was gonna.
No.
Really scarily.
Oh,
like, these are two vulnerable heroes. Yeah, you get that axe, you get that crit, and then you just one-shot people. On the other side, Lifestealer, he actually isn't that much closer to his battle than I thought he would be. I must admit, he's still just kind of like missing the mithril hammer. But this sniper, he does have his pike. He's going to pick up a grove bow, which isn't bad, and he now has a lovely stack to himself of ancient camps. This AoE damage, though, you combine the fatal bombs and like all of the AoE damage, and you can just like melt down these heroes, especially if Sven is going to dodge BKB. May we point out, heavy magic damage team on the other side might actually make him regret that decision.
I am very surprised, personally, that we haven't seen the Viper. It's only starting now to build into some defensive items. So the ATOS I kind of understand, but I kind of feel like maybe the ATOS could have come second really because all this damage. A lot of, especially after that last fight where we saw the power and impact of the Jakiro and Warlock together, fatal bonds with Macropire. Oh my gosh, it was a crazy amount of damage. So they definitely need some magic mitigation because it doesn't seem like it's going to be arriving soon for the Centaur either. He has the Hood of Defiance now, but they needed this a lot faster.
Radiant smoke past, they're looking for a hero, and Sniper has been caught. The Hurricane fight.
Oh, Action
Superman Sven is here! That is a fantastic golem in the middle for the stun, but it's not actually too fantastic because it just dies like that. Well, it was the thought that counts. Sniper is down, and that's going to hopefully force a retreat. No, what are you doing? Lifestealer's going to just about hide in the Warlock, and that is a lovely Ice Path. This Jakiro has hit Ice Path after Ice Path, and is he going to lose his life to the privilege? Yes, he does. At least Lifestealer makes it out alive. At least. Stop! Here comes Sand King. The Glimpse perfectly timed to bring him back because he actually does get the burrow, but
what is happening?
Not going to last long. Lifestealer made it out of his life, okay?
Yeah, Lifestealer's fine. Lifestealer's okay.
But man, that was a bit of a disaster. 2k swing, you hate to see it. No thanks.
Yep. And they're going to end up in a position where all their lanes are going to get pushed out. We see top Sen's already heading there. The bottom lane has the rest of the team in that position. And mid, the creep wave that's coming in for Dire is too small to do anything consequential. So now you just own the map as a result of this.
What do you mean Sven's just farming again immediately? The dude's gonna hit 12k, it's just like, I don't care, I'll be there with you guys later. On the bottom lane, it looks like Disruptor's done a little bit too close to Sniper. He will take some hits out here, and in return, the Viper trying to dump out some spells. Will this go any further? I think these heroes are mostly gonna run. Disruptor was just in a poor position at a poor time. I think Lifestealer does one more. He's gonna raise out of the ATOS. Out comes the Burrow Strike, hitting out on the Viper. The Sand King is taken down by the Centaur. A nice Ice Path again keeps Centaur back as Viper gets taken down, and now on his own, I don't think Centaur can do much to help anyone. Meanwhile, Lifestealer, TP's come in the middle of all this just to slow down Sven, who is beating down the tower. He's not needed anymore. This Sniper, when he's not dying, so when Sniper's not dying, he is pumping out damage. Serious damage. And the Jakiro is currently one of my favourite players in this game for everything he's done for the glory of Ice Path. But like, he's been practicing this stuff for hours before this game.
I think that for me, the player that I've been really impressed by support-wise has been Mama Black Sheep on this Warlock play. It's been super incredible watching him keep his team alive while simultaneously trying to set up kills for everybody else. Very unfortunately, you're mentioning about the damage being popped up by the Sniper in that engagement. There was a ton of it. Some third of the damage that came from the team was just him. But this has always been what the hero does, right? He epitomizes the glass cannon. And it's really surprising that outside of the two engagements, the one where they wrapped around middle onto him with the Sven and the one where they smoked into the jungle to find him, it seemed like Tekken's Goku Bam have been pretty blasé about actually dealing with the Sniper.
And now
it's time
for a dire smoke up. Lifestealer's hiding inside the Sand King. Sniper, by the way, Sniper, looking for an MKB would be a huge damage boost. They're not going to quite spot the heroes yet. They have jumped right under the tower. It's a double smoke. It's a double conflict. The four-man burrow into the perfect execution. Every spell and the fatal bonds. Sven's able to jump the back lines, but he's getting slowed and stopped. He might get the Warlock. I don't think he'll get much more. Is he going to go for the Roche deny? He's not going to get it. That was perfect. Every single spell. Why are you like this?
Dota 2, fam. Dota 2. Fun game. Where weird and wacky things happen all the time. That was such a crazy fight. Everybody getting caught up the hill. Like, then they smoked. It was the most unfortunate time for them to smoke as well. Now they're going to lose everything. They're going to definitely lose everything.
You know what? Sven needed that BKB yesterday. Oh, he did jump too far, and while he's got it queued up now, after his Daedalus, by the way, I mean, really, I would say, just sell that Daedalus recipe and just get towards that BKB right this second.
I don't think you should sell the recipe, but yeah, it's close enough.
Okay,
here's what happened, right? So here's what happened, right? So you know when you're trying to build that Echo Saber, and someone else seems like, bro, why aren't you building eggs? He's like, because I need to farm faster. And then he queues up the eggs, right, and into the Daedalus, and probably he made a deal with his team. He's like, listen, if I buy the eggs, then I'm not buying BKB first. I'm going for the Daedalus. And they're like, oh, fam, don't worry, we're winning the game. You can do what you want. Now they're like, yeah, not only do they desperately need that BKB, how hard, if you're on the team right now of Techies Goka Bam, how hard are you looking at Digital Detective and being like, yo, G, we needed this pipe. Like, the pipe came way too late in that fight. By the time he actually popped it, I think, like, the Ogre was basically already dead, and the Disruptor was definitely dead at that point. They're gonna try to find
He is gonna make the blink out. He will just about live, but it's 5-man Fiesta again time, I think. Lifestealer, actually, I looked away from him, and now he's getting closer to an Assault Cuirass than I would have thought.
That fight was a huge boost.
Look at his player networks. Lifestealer's now only 1k behind. He is seriously caught up in these team fights. And I didn't even notice that the gold actually swung 5k the other way. That's what happens when you get one crazy team fight. And on topic of crazy team fights, we're almost looking at one run ready under this tower. Sand King Sandstorm's under it. Sniper on the back line, just waiting. Lifestealer's going to push bot, but he has TP ready. Luckily, he's right in the sort of territory here that Sailor Discord want.
They don't have the easiest tower push, actually, on the side of Techie, so they're actually going to have a rough time. This is not a trade they can get away with. They have to go back and defend, but it's too late.
Centaur's going to go for it. Everybody wants the kinetic field and the ice park into Ben is going to jump the back line. The golden hits out on 2, but he only just ults his bed and snipes, but just sitting on that high ground unseen. Ben hasn't been able to hit anyone in this fight. He is going to just try and Superman jump over the wall, but I'd be scared if I were him. Looks like this dire team are going to focus on the easier picking Ogre and let Ben go for now. That's another 2k down the toilet.
Okay, Lifestealer is now extremely problematic.
Sniper, yet again, was just sitting on... The Lifestealer did very little damage in that team fight. It was actually Sniper just sitting there on the high ground, unseen from sight, doing Sniper things. I love to see it. I wanted to see it. My good old friend, my buddy, he's back.
I don't think he's back yet. I think another thing happened in this game. You know, sometimes you sort of forget about a hero, even though he was last picked in this game. Generally, what we've often seen in the past is that Centaur or Disruptor would come out after the Sniper pick, but in some ways it doesn't feel like they've crafted their strategy to deal with a hero like Sniper, and they're not really addressing it. Like, for example, that jump that they make behind a tier 2 tower, you can never make a jump like that when there's so many access points to nearby high grounds, and you don't have actual vision of the Sniper at that point. Extremely dangerous fight. I think they realized that they were trying to make a jump and take advantage of the timing while Lifestealer is pushing bottom, but he's just a TP away. And unfortunately, we go back to what we were talking about in the drop, their lack of overall real damage on the side of Techie's Goka Bam outside of the Sven. So if Sven isn't directly on a hero bashing them out, there's no one's actually dying, and everyone just feels free to walk away, which is presenting huge problems because, you know, he still doesn't have his BKB and he's about to die in the bottom.
And he's alone, and the Sand King is here, and the Basher is here, and so is by the way, the Lotus Orb used on the Lifestealer just in case you feel like stunning him. I don't think Bloodlust's gonna help, but it was a sterling shot. They're gonna try and bring the rest of the team in. What can they do? Sven has no buyback. Sniper has double damage, and by the way, a Monkey King bar, just in case you feel like you needed any more damage. let's just hit a tower. Like, they might not know he has no buyback, but quite frankly, no threat. The smoke implies they might just go Roche instead. Or, no, they are facing down mid. They do want kills. The Lifestealer is out and about. Is he going to rage dodge whatever that Centaur brings out? I don't think he needs to. His rage dodges is the Fire Blast and hit.
And they also lost the Viper at the same time because in the mid lane, he came in on the side angle, perhaps thinking he could render aid, but instantly finds himself getting caught by a Battle Strike and Sniper's nearby. So Sniper's like, oh, sweet. Free, easy money in the shade, literally free green. And then he picks up the Viper kill, walks away happy to the bank. What a guy.
This is one of those fascinating games though. While this has gone really strongly one way, we're now sitting at a 10k disadvantage. I can see the way back for this Radiant team. It's literally just surely just get Sven to queue the Sniper. Like, Lifestealer is the richest hero right now, but Sniper is still the nastiest boy, surely.
But the problem is, I don't think actually, personally, I'm not sure how many ways back there are because the Sven is the only real threat. Centaur with Disruptor, these two heroes haven't really progressed all that well in this game, haven't found themselves a good angle, but also this Viper has yet to really prove his value and why they picked this hero, so having a really tough time keeping up both with utility. You know, he has less utility than what they have available on the other side, does no damage. So the only way I can realistically see them really falling prey is gonna have to come down to the Centaur Disruptor. This is all their team fight. It's gonna have to be like a 2-3 Wolfman Stomp with the addition of the Kinetic Field Static Storm right on top of it. Without that, it just really complicates life. Because all they can do is either wait for the pressure to come to them, but there's not much else that can happen because Sven can't really jump in by himself because he's still Howie. 31 minutes into the game, still don't have a BKB on the Sven. What is happening?
He actually did finish the day. I think that's shameful. That's shameful right there. That's sad. I don't like to say that often, you know, but it hurts, you know, it just hurts to see you. Looking around at some of the other factors we're seeing in this game, have you noticed Yukiro's telescope?
Yeah. This has been helping
the ice path and for the Sniper, maybe?
Yeah.
2 to 1. Ben, pick up a Titan Sliver. Not a terrible item. Looking around at the rest, so I don't see too much other
excitement. About to pick up a Roshan though. He's inside the pit. Just with Doggo being nearby. And there's no way that anybody can actually come and bother them doing this, so it's gonna be a free Rosh. Oh my goodness, look at Warlock. Look at Warlock neutralize it.
And here comes Sniper for another double damage, by the way. I do like the quickening charm out there on the Warlock, but I am paying attention to double damage Sniper again.
I won't be able to use it though, because now that the Aegis is in play, as much as this should have been somewhat of the template for a bit for the last few minutes until Sven finds BKB, they are absolutely just gonna corral themselves inside their base. Oh gosh, are they? No, don't do it, don't do it.
Here's a smart Sniper play. Sniper is going straight for BKB next. He thinks, I have enough damage, and he surely does. Now, yes, we have noticed Sand King. He's on the prowl, on the hunt. He's not gonna find a hero quite like this, though. He's gonna have to go mid, and if he goes mid, he's gonna see a lot more problems. The team still feel a little confident, I think. I mean, like, what actually is their game plan next? Because they do have a Sniper who can hit buildings very effectively. Luckily, if they had, like, another carry who had to commit high ground, this would be really hard for them, because even though Sven is behind, Sven is still a rich boy that will one-hit your heroes if given the chance, and not get you killed. So, I mean, having Sniper does make your life a lot easier in that regard, but it's hard to get on the high ground, because really your only initiation is a Sand King, who just has to Leroy Jenkins himself up the hill and pray that nothing bad is up there. Nobody else can actually really help out until the Golem's gone down, and you want to have good enough vision before you commit to the Golem. It's actually a bit of a catch-22 on pushing this high ground. The Sven is a scary hero.
Yeah, to make matters worse, they also have some pretty decent wave clear from Radiant side, so they can continually make sure that any wave, you can't even rely on saying, okay, we'll get some creeps onto the high ground and then spam out the liquid fire, maybe use that as an opportunity to start the fight around the tower, but you just have to sort of bide your time. And even though they have their Aegis.
The more you do this, Sven just farms, doesn't he? He just farms your creep waves. Like, Fast farming hero. I'm looking at the gold graph and I've noticed it's leveled. It's leveled hard. He's super close to his BKB. And if you don't start the fight now, he'll just kill like 2 or 3 creep waves that just come into your base. It could be trouble. It looks like they are ready to go. That range with the telescope on his side as well. That's terrifying. He's getting... Oh, the Viper break disables to take aim. That's a smart play. That's big break. That's huge brain tactics here. But they could just pull off the slow siege here, honestly. Trap them up the hill, hit the towers. You hit us. You hit us. Out comes the root. No, it's kind of a get back early warning system. That break actually annoys him so much, and he's taken half his HP.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Which is actually kind of insane, right? Considering their relative like positionings in this game. You know, the sniper is 3rd in overall net worth, the Viper is the lowest rated core in the entire game, and yet still a couple of spells from Viper can still be very threatening at this stage of the game. This is why Sniper bought himself the BKB, which has just been delivered now. So he does have that additional safety, no longer has to fear being jumped on. I mean, he has so many defenses.
Oh, now we're fighting, smoking up. Oh, it might just be for the ward. Oh, I got scared. The smoke up. Lifesteal is not in a very fun place, and there are still smoked heroes he's not quite aware of. The break comes out, he will be able to rage out the Rimbo.
Hey, can we have a round of applause for the BKB on Sven? Hey.
35 minutes. I mean, in a really great game, you could have gotten away with it, but this is going on. Lifestealer hung around for way too long. How is he still here? He's going to get picked off for that one. At least loses Aegis, and I don't think the team are ready to stop him getting the second life. Warlock has got an Invis rune. If something wacky happens here, blame him, but I wouldn't. Oh, he has burned his ult. He has used his ult in the middle of it. That's just money. Down it goes. 150.
That was huge. That was huge. Massive fight right there. That's exactly the kind of thing that you need in order to be able to come back into the game. We see it happening. Now Sven feeling in a good position, and also the timing was perfect for that, because normally when you have like 2 minutes left on an Aegis, it's either you're playing with your team trying to see it on the high ground, or you're the ones that are completely spreading out the map. This time around he just gets caught out in a very awkward position, dies, and now that enables them to suddenly go back and push.
Look at his player net worth. Look at his player net worth on the top 2. It's really going there now. Lifesteal is dead. He does have buyback, but he might just wait the 40 seconds. They're going to play for this next tower. Now, their tower pushing is weak, though, as you have pointed out. They really don't have anything to hit him with. But Spencer is trying to do the Stampede. Sniper is caught out in the middle of it. Burrow strike down the middle. Sven hasn't popped his BKB yet. He's feeling safe, and he goes. Glimpse back on the Sand King. That's another kill. Big cores are down now. Sniper has no buyback for 60 seconds. It's at least a tier 3, and I would almost feel like going for the tier 4. You know there's no golem. It's not wasted.
I was actually about to mention that the reason they can make these plays is because the opportunity got unlocked for them when Warlock decided to commit that golem, even though he knew for a fact that there's no way he can save the Lifestealer. After that, suddenly, they're like, okay, sweet, you're just going to run at you. We know that the hero that we're really afraid of is dead at the moment, and even if he does come back, if he can get some kills beforehand, then y'all won't have any teamfight left. So what are you actually going to do to stop us? Sand King is dead as well.
This is Barracks. Lifestealer on his own is not scary enough. He needs his team. He can't just one-man army this. His Fatal Bombs are out, but a lovely Disruptor ult shuts down the Lifestealer for good. Now he has no buyback in his 80 seconds. Sniper's back in 10, so they do want to finish this tower before he comes back. He will be a threat to Sand King, but they have gotten the melee at least and the range, and that'll be their goodbyes. Just in time for Sniper to witness the damage. Oh, and let's take a look at that gold graph for some sweet, juicy justice. We're down to 9k. The big swing is back, and now Sven is comfortably back on top. What is this game? That's the real question we need to ask again.
I love this game. You know, games like this is why we love Dota 2. Because you actually have to be perched on your seat, ready for anything to happen. Moments ago, right, less than 2 minutes ago, they were completely corralled inside the base, unable to really move out. Now suddenly, they're the ones that have claimed a full set of racks in the mid lane. Weirdly enough, that death on the Lifestealer was kind of bizarre for me, because at the time, both the Warlock and Jakiro had access to their 4 staffs So they could have actually saved him because there was no kinetic field with the initial cast of the static storm, but he ends up getting caught out. Now, look how brave they're feeling at this point in time. All of a sudden, on the side of Techi's Gokabam, they are here taking outposts and trying to force a fight in the area. Okay, maybe not. Lifestealer is about to respawn, so Nightmare want to push her luck. Things have been going well so far, so let them keep going well by playing safe, playing intelligently, and just putting all the eggs into the make Sven kill everyone basket, which becomes a lot easier now that he's tanking up also with the Satanic as well.
Man, we're playing a bit of fun games over these outposts. The bottom outpost was captured for at least 2 cycles by the Dire team. Now Radiant are going to take the 40-minute one. It's not a bad bulk of XP. Now, also worth noting on this net worth distribution though is, yes, Sven is ahead, but like look at the difference between the Sniper and the Viper. The thing I'm worried about with his Lifestealer is, as strong as a hero as he is, he can never be the guy that like really starts trouble. In the same way that Sven can start trouble. If Sniper has at least one protective teammate, he could do it. But Lifestealer really needs a team to back him up. If the two are together, they're unstoppable. If one of them gets picked off stupidly, there's a lot of trouble.
Yep, that's definitely the case.
The pressure on with another tower.
This time though, they have everything back online, so there's no way you can be as brazen as going out to the high ground without at least claiming the Aegis, which will be the next protocol for them. The cheese is available now as well. That would be great onto the Viper. Give the Viper the cheese, let him be the one to walk in, and then you still have the Centaur that can create chaos on the side of the fight. And Centaur has also caught up quite nicely in giving his team needed items. The Crimson Guard is going to help quite a lot, I think, going forward, but it would have been nice if this was available at the 25-minute mark. Would have been cool. At this point, it's like, it's nice damage mitigation, but I'm not sure it's going to change the game.
Did Sven just find
what the hell?
Why did he put it back? No, Sven, take that back.
Dude, give us the Havoc Hammer.
Both teams have a Havoc Hammer, and I feel like Sven, you're wrong. Listen, oh no, no. Okay, never mind. So Sven lost his strength on his ult a very long time ago. Oh, Dota's messed up, messes me up in the head. Makes a bit more sense now. If he still got strength on his ult, I would have thought like, yo, maybe that would have been scary. It's still strong.
It's still amazing.
It's still strong, but like it's not as insane as I thought it would be.
But still, right? You still get the flat damage, which will help you farm faster. It's definitely better than the Orb of Destruction.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, right?
The Orb only hits 1. I guess maybe the slow, 25%. Even that's not that incredible. Dire team does smoke up. They're looking for a kill bot. They're not going to find anybody, but if they start rotating out to the middle lane, they will find people. Sand King playing the classic Lifestealer game. Heaven's Halberd up on the Sand King, by the way. I think you know who that's going to be applied to immediately. Could be quite a big deal if you catch him before he BKBs. You can never dispel that item, as frustrating as it is. The smoke will fizzle though, and Radiant are in the better position to take this roast. They just tried scanning it, didn't find anybody there.
There's a DD on the floor. If this is every time there's a DD outside of a Roshan, right?
Dire just scanned the Rosh, and they didn't find anyone there. And now, DD rune. And are they gonna do it? Or are Kabam gonna do it? For the glory of techies? Come on.
I think they don't do this. Nah, if you just got dewarded right outside the pit, they probably know you're in there, so you let it go, wait for them to come, and then you can't initiate onto them. They're actually coming for you.
With a lot of hovering, both teams grouping as 5, no smokes available, but Centaur will be the first to get caught there by the Burrow Strike Sniper, healing out damage from the backline. The Disruptor ult does go down, but it's not going to catch very much, and neither is the Golem. Stampede on the Sven, he just runs around the outside. Sniper has a BKB and the Prince's Knife. He's just going to keep on running. This is all about Sven and none about anyone else. And he's trying so hard, he just can't quite get the line of sight. Down goes Sniper in 1 hit. Sankey's going to try and slow him down. Not even Heaven's Halberd's really going to matter. The rest of the fight, Viper is able to pick off the support. Lifestealer charging after the Disruptor. He's not actually going to get much done. Out of position now, the Sven, but he's coming back, and this Lifestealer is stuck. The Viper has really picked it up. The Rage, he will TP. He is going to make that. No Abyssal Blade to stop the TP. That's a 2 for 2, but it's a much bigger one for Radiant. It's your sniper and a buyback on the Sand King. Nasty. That is a 2k swing again, and Sven just gets valuable. Like Sven gets that sniper goal. Yes, please.
Yeah. We saw in that fight. That fight was actually hilarious because, like you're mentioning, it became all about the Sven. Sven literally waited on the periphery of the fight to see, okay, who's going to be the one? Where's the angle for sniper? Oh, they're going to...
Sven's out of position. He's caught again by the Sand King, pulling off the full combo, and the Abyssal is off away. Only the BKB up now, but he doesn't have his god strength. Centaur could come in to save the day. The double stun lowers the HP enough of Sand King to get him down. And the Prince's Knife just going to hit Lifestealer, but he will get away with it. Can we stop for 5 minutes and just let Snare talk about this, please?
Oh, that was so sad. That was so sad. The buyback ends up being a dieback on the Sand King. They take this fight. Like, it seemed like a decent enough idea, right? Jump on the Sven, see if you can burst him down. But unfortunately, not everyone was in position to dish out the damage at the same time as the Battle Strike. Lifestealer and Sand King were there at that time, but Sniper was only able to approach a little bit later. And unfortunately, he's pretty much actually stalled out in his itemization through picking up the BKB. So the Sniper isn't really that threatening anymore. Doesn't have like a crit stake, there's no Myong. So you can't really burst the Sven unless everyone's attacking him at once. And like you mentioned, we saw the Centaur came through, saves the fight, gets off the hook stomp. But I think the more important thing that he did in that fight is that he pops the Crimson Guard to allow the Sven the opportunity to get off the Satanic, which gives him that little bit of HP necessary for him to be able to extend the fight and then activate everything he needs to get the damage out onto the floor. Now they get the Aegis, cheese in the waiting hand of the Centaur.
Oh, how the turn tables, as they say.
Look at the Vipers. Viper's catching up. And Viper, I think, is definitely in a game like this where you don't have to worry about damage. You're just a utility hero. You do much more with this role.
Lifestealer's going Scardy. That's a really nice idea. If you want to kite the Sven, if you want to like just slow down that Sven and stop him from running around, you already have the Abyssal. Why not slow him a bit further? Lifestealer's going to push out bot until he's needed as this Kabam team is going to pressure top yet again. They have the siege groups ready. It's going to be another clash, but this defense on the high ground with the sniper is inherently strong. As long as he's around, and he wasn't around last time, but he sure is around now hitting that high ground. And I'm like, are you really going to dive that? Scary thoughts.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to dive it. They have access to Sandstorm. You know, they're rooting it up right now. Sniper's here, pushing things. When they're all alive, it's really difficult to actually push onto the high ground against this team. You know, we saw that when they lost their lane of Rax at middle, it helped a lot that the biggest heroes on the map would get at the time. But also look at bottom. Speaking of one of the biggest heroes,
he's not given up on this game, and this is going to take a TV back to Sven. Now, if he times the rage properly, he misses the rage, but he knows Sven isn't going to ult for this, and he's just going to run away. Sven does not want to burn ult on something that big when a team fight could erupt at any second. He's going to totally get away with this.
They don't just get away with it, they actually save the game for his team, because if he doesn't do that, then they can just keep the siege going here in the top side of the map, but he's drawn away a lot of attention, and now they know for a fact that Sven is bottom, so the rest of the team, they don't have any damage, so they have to vacate the entire part of the map.
And now they're going straight for it, Sanking onto the Centaur. Lifestealer hits him when he opens wounds. Out comes the Centaur up, but it's not too much the Radiant can really do, and Sniper's in the back line alongside the Warlock to pick off the Centaur. There's not many more kills they're going to get, but now they know where their hunting target is. Sven's on his own, he's still missing his TP, he's running for the hills. If they can spot this guy, he will be juicy. Indeed. Surely they have to go for this. They have to go for this. They're going to miss the trick here, and he is going to get away with that.
Yeah, let him fall. Do you really want to be fighting this Sven? I don't want to be fighting this Sven.
3v1? Yeah. All those stuns? Yeah, I would fight that Sven in a heartbeat.
If you didn't have BKB, maybe, but
also I have an Abyssal. You can Abyssal through it. Snap.
You can Abyssal through it, but then the Abyssal's a, 2.5 second stun, right? And then he's like, sweet, it's my turn now, baby. Yeah. Activate God Strength, hits you once and we're all dead. It's like, okay.
Take the Sand King, you get Halberd. What's he gonna do for all that ultimate? I'm feeling it deep down inside. Roshan is just about to respawn, I think. No, I can't read the Rosh clock. It's sometime.
No, it's gonna be
I was
fine,
really
yeah.
excited to see if something cool was on it, and now we don't get to know.
Something cool is now available with the Eye of Scotty. You're mentioning about the slow and kiting potential, but also they definitely needed a way to help deal with the lifesteal from the Sven. The Satanic is proving to be quite problematic for them.
Hey, does
So
it do that?
this item, yeah.
I like to think I follow patch notes, and then like this game just blindsides me again. It does that. Good God. I remember when I had Orb of Venom in it, and you had to like get that from the secret shop, and you took 4 whole slots because there wasn't even a backpack back in those days. Smoke up on top, 4 heroes, and there's only a Jakiro and a Sand King, not even space to TP on. Jakiro's revealed himself. Someone's gonna die here. I have the feeling. What? Not quite. Not quite feeling. I don't think the 4-staff hit just right there on the disruptor up the hill. Just another inch over, and I think that would have hurt a whole lot more.
Alright, so we are now officially in the late game. So we're getting to that stage where everybody's gonna get, despite their stars, get maxed out anyway. And also at the stage of the game where land lane of Rex does not matter whatsoever. Look what Viper's queuing up. This deep into the game, he's like, oh, like actually, a 10-second BKB might be kind of nice.
Viper's not had the easiest of games, but I do really sympathize with the guy because when the rest of the game just isn't going well as Viper, that's just kind of like, you really can't do anything. Sven's really gonna go for it this time. He wants to hit the tower. Come at me, bros. He knows the team's alive, but Lifestealer's the whole way bot. His TP is ready, but he's just gonna try playing that split mission game again until it's absolutely necessary. It did work last time. Mjolnir comes up on the sniper. Big attack.
I don't know if they should do this. Aegis just expired.
We've taken a lot of damage on the Sven, and they must have heard the Aegis when he misses the burrow strike, though. That's just about safe Sven's fate, but supportable lives so that Sven can live. Oh, Sand King, the millimeters that this difference this game makes.
Had that power strike connected, that we're probably looking at a dead Sven right now. Especially, I think what's really being the Achilles heel for the Sven is the fact that he needs the BKB, right? But he can't just wantonly activate it. But every time he shows up to this high ground to try to do something, man, this Prince's Knife hit from the sniper, really complicating life with that Hex, puts him in a very vulnerable position. They actually had to commit they had to commit the 4-staff from the Raptor to try to get him out. And they do succeed at doing that, but then ultimately end up booming the Disruptor. And doing the push,
the burrow strike onto the Viper, but they have enough stuns to finish the job anyway. This might drive some more heroes back. Sven still playing around on bottom lane. He's looking to go for an Assault Cuirass. He's sitting on 6,300 gold. I really thought he'd be a bit more brave, but I understand that our hearts can't take all of this.
It would be nice if you could buy an Abyssal Blade. Not Abyssal Blade, sorry, Lincoln's here to deal with the Abyssal Blade hit that's coming on from the Lifestealer. Just to, it's really like the itemization from the deity and going full in.
How screwed is this Sand King on bottom lane on a scale of 1 to 10?
I signed it. The Sven's not going to reveal himself for this.
Yeah.
He's totally fine.
Boosted travel on the Sven now, as well now, so a lot more mobile around the map he's going to be. And you can see that the gold has very much leveled off recently. In terms of the XP, it's been all over the shop. Dota Plus, so 76% Dire. Oh, they love Sniper.
Sniper is also one of these heroes where as the game goes ultra late, this hero, man, at 25, oh my god. Once he gets his attack rate talent as well, oh my goodness.
I'm waiting for my tier 5s, my best of friends, my Stygian Desolators, my Ballistas, my Books of the Dead, and maybe the poor sap unlucky enough to get a Trident. There's always somebody who ends up getting the Trident.
You're always so sad when you pick up Trident. You're like, oh, really?
Do I have to do this right now?
You know how you know Trident sucks, right? It's the one neutral item I've actually never seen somebody carry.
Oh, I've assembled a Trident. I feel like
actually assembled a Trident.
I had to do it out of like honor. Didn't really make much of a difference though at the end of the day. I don't think it was actually that good of an item, but I did have to do it for honor. Sven, looking for the Aghanim's Blessing. What would make a good last item other than the Lincolns? Not a bad idea, but let's get a few other ideas down the hatch.
The only other item that he could be making space for, right? After looking at his item stack, if it's not Lincoln's, I can't see him buying anything but Rapier. to try and end this out. Actually, we need the radio.
We couldn't do it.
Yeah.
We couldn't do this
But
to
that's pretty
ourselves.
fine.
This game's been silly enough. I'm just saying, we can't do it to ourselves to put a radio on the deck. Very rich.
Fine. Okay, how about a pistol blade? There we go. To be able to get the range, yeah.
To be clear, I want to see the rapier, but I'm just wondering, could we face this? He ults up in the trees. Maybe watch that sniper. Sniper become visible any second. Bye-bye, son. 1, 2, 3, 4. The golem hits, but that's going to be 3 hits for the golem to go down as well. And I don't think anyone's going to make it out of this one very safely. Lifestealer does jump to Disruptor. He does get that one consolation kill, but I don't think he's going to get much more for his time. Full buybacks available and used. This is the make or break team fight. The gold has actually completely swung back to Sven's team here. This is going to be one last big team fight, and worth noting, Sven's ult will be down now. And out comes the Lifestealer with the Sand King straight away. Lots of stuns and DOT coming up, but not too much in the big way of things. Centaur stuck in the middle. He will be picked off. Jakiro getting caught up against the Viper as well. He's just not going to get away with it. These buybacks have been useful so far. And they have warded off these 2 heroes, but they need to do more, because when Sven gets his ult back, he's just going to do this again, and he's so close to his level 30 as well.
Yeah, I'm very surprised actually that the way that fight broke out. A lot of this game has just been
every buyback gone.
Right? All the buybacks. Yeah, and the game's over. Just ends immediately.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do.
Yeah.
But dude, why did they fight there? Like, what value was there for them to defend this tier 2? It was definitely going to go down 100%, and they know for a fact that they're basically unassailable on the high ground, provided that everybody's alive. So somewhat bizarre decision to get outside the base there, and it ended up getting super hard punished for it. And look, to make matters absolutely even worse for them, those buybacks you mentioned, with 4 of them being down, not only is it time that you can't really spend, you know, it's like, well, if we die next, it's going to be a massively long dieback cooldown. For me, the big thing is that means that they actually can't really afford to play as aggressively as they are on the map right now.
By the way, knock on the Roche kit. Lifestealer can get this first. Aghanim's Blessing is waiting, which isn't actually that great. But the Aegis is good enough, and keeping it away from Sven's hands is good enough. Who will take the Aghanim?
The Sand King. Absolutely, 100% Sand King. The way that the Sand King can play this game...
yes, that would be fun. That would be very fun. The scan is out, they're aware of it, but they're not going to be able to catch this in time, even if they try. So... They might try and force a fight here, but that Aegis is going the way of the Dire, for sure. So we are... And the Aghanims and the cheese. Aghanims? Hello?
No!
No, maybe he's just delivering it. Maybe he's just delivering it. It's a Sand King.
No.
So your boy Sand King. Walk isn't too bad either. He's going for Golem. He's going for the Golems. Oh, is it? No, actually, I don't buy that. I don't buy that. Sven is eating up the Golems. Are you really going to summon ones with lower stats here?
Yeah.
All it does. It's not a refresher shard, is it? Like...
No, not at all.
That
and I think the big thing
critical.
The big thing for me and why I don't really like it on the Warlock is that it doesn't solve the problem that Warlock is, if he casts his ultimate, right, and then suddenly the fight is dramatically different, and it's not really available often. If they gave the upgrade to the Sand King, that's an upgrade that you could use more than once in a fight. So I'm really perplexed by this decision.
He's 5 levels away from being able to give those Golems armor. They're doing nothing. You know, they're just stunned. That ultimate.
Just food for Sven. Just food for Sven right now. Just go for him.
Yeah, Lifestealer getting a little bit teased up. This is going to be the big boy fight. The money shot, so to speak. Lifestealer is going to be sitting on the front line. That was crass. I already apologize to everybody. That was too far. DD Sniper! DD Sniper! He's gonna go
attack
for it.
range. With the plus 100 range, look at this.
That is
his actual attack range right now? Dude, he has more than 1,000 attack range right now.
Break just turns it off every time. We had this problem earlier. Just sit inside the Lifestealer's, the Viper's area, and that's it.
Then ult.
The BKB on Sniper, that's come out way too early. He's been given the invis and he's going to hit the Sniper over and over. Some really lovely ults coming out from fire in the middle. The Golems do live a second, but Sven in the backline is the only hero that matters. Lifestealer able to live for longer there with the Satanic. It's carnage. I'm gonna watch Sven. That's my side. Aeon disc blocked on the wall. They're just chasing down his other quad. The Lifestealer dies. It's GG for sure. He has no buyback. He will have the Aegis, but he's donezo, sir. Unless he makes it back to base.
He's fine.
There's no way. There is no way he solo defends in 100 seconds. They don't need to chase the Sand King. I know he's annoying. He's been a pain. Just power down mid. You know the buybacks are gone.
No, you can't. But look at middle. These Warlock Golems are actually keeping the wave occupied, and they're gonna make sure that some actual damage comes out. Only 10 seconds left on them.
Dude, deal with it. Just deal with the golems then. Off they go. Off to the jungle.
Right.
Well, off to the jungle.
I mean, they still have time to make a push, right? They're gonna try and get the full set. I don't think they want to go for the straight tier 4s. They probably want like at least a second laner axe.
They're eating up time here. Sniper has 60 seconds. You know, like I feel like we are gonna have another fight here. What are the buybacks looking like? Sven is so short from his, but he's going to be close. Oh, what did we say? We just said that new item hit the deck. It's the tier 6, baby. Even I forgot. Ex Machina. That would be a double BKB, double Satanic. Sven wants it. Trident on the Dire. Their prophecy's been sealed. Their fate has been sealed. Lifestealer has dropped the cursed item. We can't do this, surely. Even if the Warlock comes back here, 40 seconds for golems, and they are going to get those barracks in time. They're hitting jungle creeps, but there are more important things to deal with right now, surely. Fallen Sky is good, but you're losing your base. You're not going to get to build your Trident. What does that mean for you? Sand King tries to jump out, or catches the Centaur, but not going to leave so much. Lifestealer can chew away at support for now. In comes Superman. Sniper is back. He is going to keep hitting, but he's not actually doing it that much damage. You think Sven's in trouble, but he still has Ex Machina just about ready, and he's still going to whack buildings. Goes in for Sniper again. Catches him out. No lifesteal. Centaur by your side, and you can't see Sven's health bar, but he has repopped his Satanic, so trust me, he's healthier than ever. Mega Creeps come out. Lifestealer taking their heat. They might get the Sven down here, actually, bit by bit. Does have Ex Machina. He can use this. He can do this. Deep down in his heart, he might just back off. He has for sure gotten what he wants, hasn't he? Mega Creeps. No fun allowed in this house. What is going on? What's going on? Help me out here. I don't think Snare's doing okay. That's alright. What other items are we going to find? Woodland Striders. Not the greatest in the world. 8,000 gold on Sven if he really felt like he'd go Rapier, but he has that. But he does have the buyback more than ready. He does have his items back. I don't even think he's used Ex Machina. I can't. Sand King's just chilling up in top lane. He will make it away from this, but it's not fun to be constantly haunted. Haunted by the spectre of a Sven. Team have the whole buybacks ready, but it doesn't even matter. How long are we? How long must this go on? My favourite Hearthstone card said, and how much I say it in my heart as well. It's another Trident. It's just to be balanced, just to go 50-50, deep down in the middle. We do have our second Trident come out. Okay, on paper, like, if Trident was an item that made sense to build, Sven would love it. But unfortunately, Ex Machina is so cool. I mean, refreshes BKB, refreshes his Satanic. That's it all. And now, we're just going to be buying time, I think, for our last fight. Wait for heroes to respawn, do it all up again. Gaben still says it's 50-50. I would love to know what's going on inside Dota Plus. Apex also, that's a big one. That's a big item. Sven's going to take it. Sven's dropping behind the Ex Machina for the 75 strength. Book of the Dead on the Lifestealer would be a good pushing item any other day, but it's not going to be at its best right now. Sven is a tanky boy. We might be hearing from Snare any moment now. One more time. But I've been doing fine. Hello. Hey there, Snare. Well, we have both teams have a Trident, so the prophecy has been fulfilled. Yeah. We have gotten Mega Creeps. We've gotten our Mega Creeps. But we've picked up the Apex on the Sven, which is how I think he's going to end this day. Maybe with a DD rune as a treat, as a little bonus.
Nah.
He's gonna
You know what's gonna
for it.
happen? Must I tell you what's gonna happen now, right? The next thing that's gonna happen in this game is we're gonna have this really awkward situation where they're gonna try go for this fight now, feeling like, okay, we're super stacked, we've got the full megas, and then they're gonna try and resist it. But because of the positioning of heroes like Sniper, look how far forward he is. Might end up just getting jumped, dies immediately. If Sniper or Lifestealer die, the game just ends. But both of them will have buybacks soon and go.
And on the topic of Sniper, he is able to BKB to get out the Sven stun and pouring out a lot of damage onto that Sven, in fact. But now out he comes. 1-2 hits. I don't need Ex Machina for you anymore. I'm gonna hit your buildings. I don't know if there's much you can do about it. Shakiro trying to hold back Disruptor. He steps one step too far to the sun. Out come the golems and the epicenter. But Sven has his ult. Could it be the rampage? All he needs is a few more hits on the Lifestealer. So you have to let him have this deep down in your heart. But they are going to fight for it out with the Ice Pump and the Macro Fire. Sankey's going to get away with it all. Out it comes. There's your rampage. Maybe even a double. Maybe even a double. I think Lifestealer's got too much evasion to make it possible, but Warlock, as a treat, offers it back up. Come on. We're dancing around the base right now. We're looking for every last little treat we can get. Lifestealer's the last one alive. He wants Sven as a trophy. Not even to win the game, but just as a trophy. Will he get his trophy in time? I don't think he will. Hexton stuns. That Ancient is toast. What a game. Oh, that's my favourite game. I've had a short career. But that's my favourite game I've ever done so far. Yeah!
That was one of the wildest games of Dota I've ever seen, personally.
What a journey.
The way that game played out, it really surprised me. I think one of the biggest surprises about the game itself was the fact that even the closer we got towards the end of it, it never really felt like... It always still felt like exactly what you were mentioning earlier. Like, once the Sven really got up, it's like, okay, every single thing that's going to be happening is going to be about, can we kill Sven? If not, what then? And every single time is, if we kill Sven, or we just keep him busy long enough for his BKB to go down, maybe the fight looks decent for us. But it took until, like, what, 45 to 50 minutes in the game before that started to happen consistently for them. So at that point, you're already so far behind now on a lot of your other heroes. And the Sniper... He did eventually start dipping into building for full damage, ended up the game with a full Daedalus here. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough because you can never take away... You can't unglass a glass cannon, right? The entire point of the hero is to be a glass cannon. And unfortunately, we got to see that play out. The longer the game went, the less lustrous, less powerful the cannon was, but definitely the much more brittle the glass was. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, right? When you have your second most farmed hero literally unable to participate in 4 fights because if he shows his face, he's always going to die.
A few little numbers for the numbers fans out there. 53k net worth on that Sven. 871 GPM. He only died 3 times in that entire match. Meanwhile, the Sniper entered 11-9. You know, your sort of normie carry score. Big difference between those heroes. Lifestealer did end 17-4. So we're obviously going to call Sven the MVP. But I want you to give a shout out to somebody else that really blew your socks off today in this wonderful game, because there was a lot of madness all around.
This was like earlier on in the game, though. It wasn't necessarily the case as the game went on, but I truly was blown away by the play from Warlock earlier on in the game. I think things started to get a bit tense, you know. I started dropping a lot of golems that didn't need to be dropped, but his game presence and making sure he saved people, especially like in the 10-15 minutes after he got that Glimmer Cape, I was very, very impressed. I think that's both supports for me really were in a position to affect the game in a much more positive way. I think the fact that we even saw the Sniper looking good for the first 35 minutes had a lot more to do with the presence of the Jakiro and the Warlock, basically prepping him up from the backside.
Those ice paths, they never gave up. They never gave up, in my opinion. I do also appreciate Centaur for him. The numbers may not look like it, but he was very much a turning point in many, many fights. I think there was a lot of fun to be had all around. I wouldn't want to be sitting there in the seats doing that one. Unfortunately, we have not seen Veil of Discord pull off a victory yet. As of the recording of this, they are 1-3. As we are sort of in the past, I might be able to look up some more stats for you if you can just keep talking about this game. Just for 1 minute.
So, another thing that I think we need to actually keep in mind about how this game played out in its entirety was that we kept seeing Sand King in particular, right, also did a lot of work on the map. Basically, this game was a story of jump, right? Can you get the successful jump? And in the time period after you get your successful jump, can you get things done on the map? So we kept seeing that for a period of time when that was possible, failure of Discord, it was looking decent. But then, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like where the real true turning point was outside of that kill onto the Lifestealer. But I think after that, what we started seeing was the Disruptor, who also, by the way, he didn't do a lot of fancy, huge kinetic field static storm combos, but he got the ones that mattered. And when you're playing support, sometimes that's more important than anything else. And in this game, the ones that really mattered was he was always on hand to make sure that if Lifestealer got to a fight, past 30 minutes, static storm was only for him. So then he has to make this really awkward decision, right? Do I rage into the fight, but therefore diminish and decrease the amount of effective time I have to fight here? Or do I take the risk that maybe one of my teammates will bail me out? And unfortunately, more than once, that wasn't really a thing that ended up happening. So we saw it would be him hemming and hawing, what must happen, and in the split seconds of indecision, immediately static stormed and dead. And there's no real counter to that if you're playing Lifestealer unless you buy BKB. But do you want to buy BKB as Lifestealer?
It feels really bad. He was carrying a Minotaur Horn for most of that game, so we did have a little backup in his pocket, but it wasn't a huge one. So since then, the gaps between these teams have widened. Kabam did make mistakes throughout the game, but I would keep an eye on them for the rest of the tournament. Meanwhile, fellow Discord, you can't say they're not entertaining. I mean, that stuff like that was brilliant, and you got to give them all the credit. Even the teams that don't perform well are here to have a whole lot of fun in the process. And for us, well, there will be another game at your regularly scheduled time of midday Pacific on the Saturday. I don't quite know when we're going to air with this, but your regularly scheduled programming will resume with the first proper round of the round robins as we have our last few teams fight to make it into the final playoff bracket. I've been Howie. What a day. I'm tired after that one. Do you have anything left to say?
All I can say is that this was the only game I've watched with Sven playing that didn't make me want to complain about Sven being in the game. It was just so damn entertaining. You were mentioning how this is your favorite game. I have never in my life seen a game this swingy at so many different points throughout the entire game. And bear in mind, I watch a lot of Southeast Asian and Russian Dota. So this was just something else. Incredible game of Dota here.
We love it. And we'll see you next time with another exciting CEA game. Until then, goodbye.